You are now in the arena. Welcome to Gridiron, presented by Underdog.
Whoa, whoa.
My name is Kinsey. I am your host, and we have got a super fun group on the couch. Let me introduce my guys. Coming off a big day today, Skip. You've had a big back-to-back day, which we'll talk about later, but we've got one of the most prolific figures in the history of sports media, the man who's never lost a debate, Skip Bayless.
Skip. Go.
Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, and 2-time All-Pro cornerback, Aqib Talib.
Let's go.
The king of quarterback breakdowns and top 5 passer in USC Trojan history, Cody Kessler.
Go, Cody. Go, Cody.
And welcome back. I feel like we've been missing you so much.
Yes.
You've been a very, very busy man, but we've got him back. 3-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl winning safety, TJ Ward.
TJ.
Great to be back. Great to be back.
How was the draft?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I had a lot of good time. Was out there with a lot of great ex-players, and we all, announced our team's draft pick. So it was definitely humbling and just great to be out there. A great experience.
Well earned, well deserved. I was really cool to see you up there. And you over here, are you tired out yet, or are you ready for Aqib now to kind of go
I got
out
a
your
second
day?
wind.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw him.
I hope he ate breakfast. Got you a coffee, some rocket fuel, and all that. You know what I'm saying?
That was easy, light lifting. This is tough, man. This is a battle.
All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about today, so here's what we're going to get into. It looks like Aaron Rodgers will be returning to Pittsburgh, and what does this mean for the AFC North? And then Stephen Jones feels good about almost a year removed from Micah Parsons' trade, so of course we're going to dive into that. And we discussed whether the 49ers can get to the Super Bowl now with the new defensive coordinator. I hope so. And this episode is presented by Underdog. Underdog is available in most states, including Texas, California, and Florida. New customers get $50 in bonus entries when they play just $5 to get started. Just use code GRID, and it's going to sign up and load instantly. Underdog, make picks, win money with code GRID. So, first things first. Skip Bayless, made his return to First Take this morning after 10 years and went toe-to-toe with Stephen A. for the day. This is wild.
Mouth to mouth, actually.
Mouth to mouth. And let me tell you, I watched some of this.
Yeah.
Skip, tell us about the experience.
First of all, it's good to be home. This is
Woo!
Yeah. Skip ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
Stop playing.
That's why I made to
playing
include
with
in my
us. Skip
intro
ain't going
for
nowhere.
the day. He came for the day. We got him back.
And let me let you in on something that helped us greatly, and that was that we did have Stephen A. on this show at the Super Bowl.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it was very important to this process because we hadn't done much together, anything together, for almost a decade. And it was good reps. It was like, you can call it sort of an exhibition type game, preseason game, but it was good. And we kept him for like an hour and a half?
Yep. Yeah.
Long time.
And all of a sudden, we're repping, and we got back in rhythm. And so today was a little easier because it was like riding a bicycle. And I just go in there, and I'm probably the worst one to ask about how it came off because I just go inside it, and I don't even know what's happening. It's just flying, and I'm flying, and we're right back where we were 10 years ago. And it was easy, and I won every debate.
It came off good, Skip, but the only problem was you said LeBron was 9th all time.
I did. Well, I've had him 9th, and I'm not moving him up because, and I think I backed Stephen A. down on every one that I had ranked above. We agree on Jordan. I think you guys would agree on Jordan being
definitely.
first, right?
Agreed.
And then he's got LeBron 2, which I couldn't believe. I thought that was insane. And then my list goes Magic Johnson, which I can defend with his 5 rings, and then Shaq, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, and then where I really blew him away was because he's a big Kobe fan. And wait, Stephen A., you've got Kobe over LeBron on your, LeBron over Kobe on your list?
Right.
And this is just me, one game for my life. I'm not sure, you're LA, you've got some of it in your blood, right? And
Cali.
He's Cali in his blood.
He had to make more look. Yep.
Look,
I'm like, you're from San Francisco.
yeah.
From the
But
Bay.
to me, one game from my life, give me Kobe Bean Bryant over LeBron James. And Then my next guy, 8, Larry Bird, 1 game for my life. Give me Larry Bird, and I'll live. You know, like I'll be good. So I backed up my actually 8 above him.
I just feel like the level of competition is different with Bron than it was for Magic and Bird. Would you agree to that? Was the NBA like on a down slope when Magic and Bird came in? It wasn't like every team ranked up like with Bron.
Yeah, but
Jordan's still there.
I know, but I got to see him go head to head in finals, so I know what that looked like.
But that's damn near it's like a walking ticket to the finals. One of us gonna win the finals because everybody else trash.
Okay, you realize when LeBron was in the East, so 9 of his 10 finals came through the weaker conference. He got there through the weaker conference to the finals.
But even in the weaker conference, though, Skip, it was
The Nets, you had
it was
Magic.
it was Hall of Famers
Yeah.
all around the league.
All right, but my problem with LeBron is he's had so many epic collapses in his playoff career, and we could go the whole show because I just did a whole show about this. Yeah. But it's one after another where he just collapses and everybody says, oh, it's okay, go to the next one.
Yeah.
But he going against the coldest Mavericks team ever. Like Tim Duncan in his
coldest Maverick team.
Yeah, that's like Dirk. Them Jason Kidd, Dirk, they cranked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and LeBron's up 2-1, and according to Stephen A., goes back to his hotel in Dallas, Texas, and makes out a list of, I'm going to do I told you so's, and I was number 1 on the list. And in games 4, 5, and 6, the chosen one became the frozen one because that was epic collapse.
I mean, Skip, I think it's a great list. When I look at it, you know, you got great arguments here, but the only thing I would say is when you look at the other players outside of Mike, they all came in with another Hall of Famer on their team already, right? You got Magic, Shaq came in, whether it was with the Magic, with Penny Hardaway coming in the Lakers with Kobe, Kareem, Tim Duncan with David Robinson and that squad, and they ended up playing with Ginobili and Parker, Bill Russell, and even Larry Bird, you know, the team that the Celtics had back then. LeBron came into Cleveland, won the East consecutive years with no other Hall of Famers on them teams.
Okay, but Tim Duncan was the Spurs. Tony Parker was the last pick in the first round. Ginobili was late second round. I don't know. Duncan just made it go. He was one of the great unsung leaders in the history of basketball and should have had 6 rings, except for the Ray Allen shot in Game 6 in 2013 in the finals.
LeBron.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah, LeBron.
Yeah, that was his.
Ray Allen hit the shot, but
Right.
LeBron had like 15 in the fourth, like something
Okay,
crazy.
do you know what LeBron did in the last 2 minutes of that game? Let's go all the way down to the last 30 seconds. He had 2 unforced error turnovers in the final 30 seconds. Then LeBricked the tying 3. Long rebound out because Popovich had taken Tim Duncan out of the game for reasons I still don't fathom. Long rebound that Chris Bosh tracked down, kicked it sweetly into the corner, and somehow Ray Allen got his toes behind the line and hit the greatest clutch shot I have ever seen anybody
Kobe
hit.
and Shaq, they got chips because Ori got hit at 3. So I mean, it's a team game, and we like Bill Russell, he ahead of him, but Bill Russell was playing against like chefs and car salesmen.
Ron
smoking
Artest.
cigarettes at halftime and
11 championships.
I mean,
he was like the only one of his kind. He was playing against like school teachers and shit, though.
He wasn't playing against school teachers. He was playing against Wilt Chamberlain. Was he teaching school anywhere?
That shit was trash.
Because he's 10th on my list.
That shit was, the level of competition was not there.
it was only like 2 7-footers in the whole league.
Like, that's crazy. Like, it was just becoming basketball at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I get it. I like the list.
Okay. You don't like the
I really don't.
I think you need to add a
I
player
know, I'm
on
like,
here,
wow, I'm
honestly.
just shocked you said that.
It's straight. I mean, there's good players on there, but I just don't see how LeBron James,
Okay, so-
even just 10 finals appearances,
Look,
is better than
And the
some of that shit on
longevity
there.
and the records.
Okay, I always call him the longevity GOAT or king, whatever you want to call him. He is that. He is the most durable player in the history of sports. There's never been anything like him because I don't know, I'm knocking on wood for him because I don't even like to talk about it. Not one knee surgery, not one shoulder surgery, not one Achilles pop, nothing. He's had nothing, and it's hard to have nothing. You know how hard, because that's he is
Explosive.
he's to me, he's the greatest driver of the basketball I've ever seen because he's 6'9", 270 maybe, somewhere in there. He's played at he looks more like 260 now maybe.
Crazy.
But he's a huge human being who's ambidextrous, but he takes a lot of shots at the basket. He's been knocked down a lot. He got knocked down a lot last night, and he pops right up. He's got chronic ankles, but he just keeps on keeping. I give you all that. So year 23, age 41, and playing at the highest level anybody's ever played at. Yet, if we took the next hour and I walked you through all of his failures, you'd say, "Oh yeah, there was that one, and there was that one."
But then you could do the same thing on all the shots he made at the end of the game. And his accomplishments. So
I don't know that many shots he's made at end of games.
you just got to get on YouTube, Skip. Just open up that app.
Okay.
And just put in LeBron James clutch
listen,
moments.
Truly.
And it's like a 15-minute reel.
Truly, I've watched every dribble of his career. I never miss a LeBron game. From day one, I didn't miss it because I was on TV day one. And I have talked about it to death. And even that first go-round in Cleveland before he went to Miami, go look at the final series against the Celtics. Go look what happened. They're up 2-1. He's always up 2-1. And then 4, 5, and 6, he just disappeared. And it got so bad that some member of his inner circle told Stephen A., who reported on ESPN, this is back in 2010, that LeBron had to be sedated for the last 3 games of that Celtics series because he was having a locker room issue with a teammate, if you know the inside story of that one. And I'm like, sedated? And then his owner, Dan Gilbert, accused him of quitting in that series. So did anybody above LeBron on my list ever get accused of quitting? And then, listen, this is what disqualifies LeBron for me. Draymond Green, and I talked to Draymond at length about this on Draymond's podcast about a month ago, and Draymond said it's his only regret of his career. He called LeBron a bitch to his face during a game. It was game 4 of the, 2016 finals? Yeah, 2016 finals. Screamed and got suspended during the finals for using the word. And then Ime Udoka, the Rockets coach, this is last year, called LeBron a bitch to his face during a game. And I'm like, would anybody ever think to call Kobe Bryant or Larry Bird a bitch?
Kobe done been called a bitch before.
No.
Yes, he would.
I know them bad boys was called
his
Jordan
face?
out
To his
name.
face, I guarantee you they was.
Oh, come on.
But you know, there ain't as many cameras back then. I mean,
Yeah.
well, you talking about Kobe, but like Jordan, I know they was on Jordan.
What? I know
Nobody was on Jordan's
What?
cast
You don't think Isaiah Thomas called Jordan a bitch?
Dennis Rodman?
No way. No way.
He's tripping.
He would rip you
Charles
the biggest
Oakley?
new one. Oh, stop
They
it.
partners though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and to your point, though, Skip, you know, when you have that longevity and you play as long as LeBron did, it's not always going to be perfect. Other teams are good.
Yeah.
So you're going to have bad series. You're going to have bad seasons. But year after year, he was in the finals. It didn't matter what team it was with. And we could argue that he had one of the greatest finals comebacks in NBA history when he was down 3-1 against the Warriors. And then they come back and win that series. And
Draymond
NBA
got
finals in Cleveland.
suspended for game 5, and that was huge.
I was there too.
Yep. That's the guts and glue of that basketball.
But they still had Steph. They still had Clay. They, I mean,
Okay.
you can't
And guess
have
who's
one guy
30?
goes out. Yeah.
And guess who LeBron had? Who hit the shot in game 7 at Oracle?
Kyrie Irving did, but
Thank
guess
you.
what? If LeBron doesn't block that shot, Kyrie
Okay.
Irving's not even in a position to make that shot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we look
And
at
by the way,
LeBron,
that was the most overrated block in NBA history. It
Here we
just
go.
was.
That shit hurt.
Hey, wait a
I ain't
second.
gonna lie. That
It's,
shit
it's,
hurt.
it's an ambush block. It's a chase
can't
down.
win. He can't
At least give me a face-to-face, eye-to-eye, man-to-man
Yeah,
block.
that's
That's all
Okay?
effort.
Situation. It's
Okay,
a situation.
and by the way, go look at this on YouTube. Go look at that block because Iguodala has a breakaway dunk and J.R. Smith cuts him off at the pass, cuts underneath him, and Iggy's starting to dunk it, and then he says, oh, I got to change my dribble. I better just lay it off the glass. And LeBron ambushes him from behind.
But you know what else?
Beat that
In
shit.
ambush.
And yeah, off the backboard. And I was in Cleveland when they won that series. That was my rookie year with the Browns, which was awesome to watch. But what if he doesn't hustle? What if he doesn't get the
I
chase
give you-
down block? Then we're sitting here having a different conversation. There's superstars that don't put out that type of effort. But in the biggest game, in that situation, he went down there and made
by
the
the
block.
way,
Arguably the play of the game outside of the Kyrie Irving shot.
That was
Number
the play
2
of
on
the
my
game
list.
because that's
I'm gonna
the
go
shot.
Jordan, then Bron.
Yeah. Wait, is Kyrie going to be
Really?
in the Hall of Fame? I think
sure.
he will be.
Yes.
But look who
Absolutely.
Iggy in the Hall of Fame and Steph and KD and
Yeah.
and Tim Duncan them and Dirk them. Everybody he played in the finals, they're in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, unfortunately, everybody in basketball gets
Who in the Hall of Fame who Bill Russell was playing against?
Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain.
And who else?
Well, I can go.
That's it, right?
Yeah, but
that's it, right?
I know Bob Pettit.
got school
you know Bob
teachers and
Pettit?
authors.
Well, wait a second. You know Earl
there
Bellamy.
it was.
I can
The
just
logo.
give you. I can just keep giving you names, but you won't know any of
Motherfuckers
them.
smoking Marlboros at halftime.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, I
Hey,
can't put.
Brian, he was held to a high-ass standard at 18 coming in. I kind of liken it to a little bit if you know KG, right? KG came in 18.
No,
Supposed to take the
it wasn't
franchise,
like
but
this.
it was
Yeah.
way more expectations on LeBron. And
Yeah.
he lived up, and I love LeBron, but I'm a Warrior fan, so we had our battles. So, it's a little love-hate there for me.
Yeah. Do you remember?
But-
Wait a second. Remember the first Warriors series against the Cavs?
Yeah.
Remember, LeBron had the 3 greatest games of his life, and they're up 2-1 when he doesn't have Kevin Love, and he didn't have Kyrie, who fractured his kneecap in Game 1. And LeBron James had a Game 4 in his house. This is his house, and it's a GOAT game, because if you win this and you shock and upset the Warriors, it's before they were really the Warriors, because it was their first time around. But Go look at Game 4. Go look at the numbers. 7 of 22 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3, and 5 of 10 from the free throw line. And they got bum rushed out of their own building by those Warriors, and that was the end of it. They just win every game from that point forward. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's just a big gag. He's a big gag.
Yeah. You just said that he didn't have
Yeah,
Love.
it's 2
he
or
didn't
3.
have
Yeah,
Kyrie.
exactly. So I
Your
was
other
like,
argument-
come on.
your
Yeah, wait a
argument
second.
in that
Are we
series
talking
with the
about
Warriors was that they
Are
lost
we
Draymond
talking
Green.
about Jordan or not Jordan?
But when Jordan ain't have Pimpin' and all them boys, he was getting bum rushed
No.
by the Pistons every year. He would get his ass smacked.
Yeah.
Pistons send his ass home.
Yeah, and they
Knicks, whoever it was, sending his ass home. Then
Yeah.
he built his team up.
And there was
he got field. Bron ain't never have a field.
There was
Jackson.
a book written about Jordan versus the Pistons called The Jordan Rules, because there were no rules at that time. They played football,
It's
basketball.
the book written about Phil Jackson,
You
too.
had to.
For sure.
How Phil Jackson in that triangle offense won with Jordan, won without Jordan, won with Kobe. Then Steve Kerr run the triangle offense. He went in Golden State with it. Like, Bron ain't never had no system. He hadn't had no shit like that. He was the player coach damn near.
He
Like,
was
you
the
said,
system.
He is the system.
Everything ran through him.
Hey, number 2
And then-
on my list, man.
Just because you live in the present, I'll bring you up to the present. It was only 3 years ago now. LeBron did get that team, the Lakers, to the conference finals against the Denver Nuggets, who were about to go on to win the championship. And do you remember those 4 games? Because it was a sweep. All 4 of those games, this is in your lifetime. Now, this is like, you being the baby that you are. So all 4 of those games were close, a point or 2, one way or the other, going to the fourth quarter. So in those 4 combined fourth quarters, LeBron James goes 7 of 23 from the floor, 1 of 10 from 3. And in the closeout game here at Staples, Los Angeles, California, LeBron had 2 shots to tie the game in the last 10 seconds and missed the rim with both shots. So, thank you.
Hey,
I get it.
the one I will give you though, Skip, because Kobe Bryant's my GOAT,
Yeah.
is if my life is on the line,
Yeah.
I'm taking Kobe.
Thank you.
For one game.
Over
I'm not
Jordan?
Where do
saying
you
I'm
have
putting
Bron, though? Because you
No,
have
not
Bron
over,
at 2.
just over
I put Bron
We
at 2.
both have him at 2. Where do
MJ
you
won,
have
Bron.
him?
I'm not saying
I got-
Kobe's ahead of him on my list, but if it's one game, my life's on the line, give me Kobe Bryant every day of the week.
Yeah.
Really?
I got Jordan, Kobe, Bron. That's me.
Okay. So 3.
Yeah.
2, 2, 3, 9.
9 is crazy.
Oh, man. Well, you guys lit the chat up on that one. That one, everybody was very
Do you
excited
remember
about.
Larry Bird? Do you know who he was?
Yeah. I watched the
Was he playing against
documentaries and all
guys
that.
smoking cigarettes? Is that what you said?
I mean, he revitalized the league. Him and Magic came in the league same time.
Yeah.
And it was trash when they came in, and they just played against each other in the chip every year. 'Cause it wasn't no more stars.
Yeah, he was a bad you-know-what.
He was.
Yeah.
So you shut Stephen A. Smith
It was
down,
like a
though,
high
right? You
school
won that
league,
argument?
I did.
school.
EVL.
Me versus you every year in the chip. I meet you in the chip. Hey, come on, man.
I turned Stephen A. back into
was cheating and
Stephen
all
A.
back
Myth.
then.
That's what he was. He was Stephen A. Myth today.
Well, they
that
had
what-
right
you know
because
what
they had
those
to get the league back. They had to have the 2 biggest markets.
I will say though, Skip, that was cool to watch today, man. You crushed it. That was.
Thank you.
I watched you guys growing up when you
Thank
guys
you.
would debate.
Appreciate that.
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
man, you still got it.
It was
both
a tie,
of you.
though. I ain't gonna say you
It was
won
fun
the
to
debate.
watch.
It was a
It was a tie. You and Stephen A. was. Hey,
You're not
that
even
was,
gonna get to support
I
our
was
guy,
facing off,
Steve?
young. It was a tie. It was a tie. I ain't say he lost. It was a tie.
Yeah, but that's what you want with those good debate shows.
Yeah, you a
You've
nice
got
little
great
tie.
facts, and he comes right back with a great rebuttal, and then you guys go back and forth.
It was a
and
tie.
you just
Skip, you
in the
won.
moment get lost
We have it
watching
back.
you
You
two
won.
yell at it. So it was cool. To
I
watch.
just like how you came on talking shit. That shit was cool.
Hey, straight into it.
He said, look, I'm dressed like a funeral. Your funeral.
You hit him with some classics. Hit him with the you're on my first nerve.
Yeah. I also got him. Do you know his Car Shield commercial?
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
does?
yeah, yeah.
And I said, your argument needs Car Shield because it just broke down. That's funny.
Yeah.
And I got him. I
He
got him
said,
good.
they'll pick you up. They will pick you up. That shit was good, though.
Okay, so the great thing about him is he won't let anybody get away with any of that stuff to his face except me because he knows I love him and respect him and always have his back. So he'll let me push a little harder.
Nah, for
And
real.
you can see that comes through the screen. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
Respect, for sure.
Well, it was awesome to watch. And you guys, I was reading the comments and people were loving you. I was like, well, we got to get him back on our show.
Yeah.
Okay.
ESPN, though, those fans miss you. It was
Thank
cool
you.
to see it.
Well, let's do this.
Yes, and you're
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious, Skip. I hope you know that. All right, let's get to a man who's also over the age of 40 that you also dislike. So, all signs
I
are-
got him ninth too, right?
that's pretty high.
generous for
That's
you,
actually
Skip.
pretty high.
That's generous.
Okay, all signs are pointing to a return to Pittsburgh for Aaron Rodgers. The four-time MVP is expected to visit the Steelers this weekend to work on a deal. Rodgers led the Steelers to an AFC North title last season, but obviously wasn't too difficult. Lamar and Joe Burrow were out most of the season, so I don't know how much credit we're giving him that. But, Keith, do you think the Steelers will win the AFC North again this year? With Aaron back?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I knew A-Rod would be back. I'm glad he's
Yeah,
back. I
we
think
knew.
we all
Yeah.
knew he'd be
Why would you
back.
playing us that like that?
Because he
Because
got to
you know
do
he
his
gotta
shit.
do it.
Nah, he
Like,
got to
he gotta
eat them
be the spotlight.
mushrooms.
Eat
you know
those
what I'm saying?
mushrooms.
Get his massages and all that good shit.
Darkness retreat.
All that shit, man. He got to do his shit. So he got his shit done. And I think he got there in a timely manner. You know what I'm saying? He there early enough where he can get the whole June in, the whole July with the squad in, you know. I think it's the timing is not ideal, but he made it. And shit, I like their team, man. I like their team. I like McCarthy, the new staff they got in. McCarthy gonna bring that winning DNA. You know, that reunion with them two guys, man. They done won the Super Bowl together. Brian Angelico, coming from Minnesota, under Kevin O'Connell, he probably gonna bring the most popular offense in the world.
Yep.
If they don't run somewhat, I don't think they'll run that McCarthy system. He probably has some stuff that he like, but I definitely see them running the Shanahan, Sean McVay type system, outside zone based system. You add Michael Pittman Jr., Rico Dotto to that offense, man. If they could find a nice lineup for this O-line, I think that offense be pretty good. You bring Patrick Graham in, Bill Belichick tree for the defense. He a smart guy. He was in New England when I was there. A smart, detail-oriented coach. Shit, he had the Raiders middle of the pack defense, and that's the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? So I think he'll have a better plan, and he'll use those guys better than Terrell Austin did. He'll get more out of that defense than Terrell Austin did. So I like their team, and I like the addition. Then Jaquan Brisker, Jamil Dean, you bring both of them to a star-studded defense. I think that defense would be solid. Shit, man. It's looking good for Pittsburgh. I think they win 10 games again this year, but 10 games going to get you third place in the North.
I was going to say third place.
I don't like them to win it because I think Baltimore going to be around 12 or 13. I think Cincinnati going to be around 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
But I do think the North is going to be back, man. The North is going to be back. They're going to be on fire. They're going to send 3 teams to the playoffs. So Pittsburgh, they'll go to the playoffs, but they'll be third in that division.
I agree with most of what you said, if not all of what you said. You know, the defense, bringing in pieces like Brisker, Jamil Dean, you know, 2 players that have been on championship quality teams. I think, you know, they didn't have stats or yardage wise the best defense in that conference, but when you look at turnovers and getting the ball back, right, they was the best defense in that conference, right? Turnovers leads to wins. They scored 4 defensive TDs, 12 fumble recoveries, which is crazy, and they was middle of the pack in scoring defense. They still got key players. It's who you retain: Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt, Joey Porter Jr., Deshaun Elliott coming back from injury, and we just talked about the other 2 players you paired them with. I think they arguably, with the Browns, have the best defense in that conference. Defense wins championships. You add Michael Pittman on the offensive side, Rico Dowdle, right, Jalon Warren, and with Rico Dowdle, excuse me. Then I like they tight ends, Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington, right?
Yeah.
That's a formidable tandem right there. And we always talk about how tight ends are the release valve for quarterbacks in troublesome situations. So I think
loves getting the ball to those tight ends.
Absolutely. Loves getting them to the tight ends, right? And then I look at what the other teams did. And then I like to match them and compare and see what the Ravens did on defense, right? They brought in Trey Hendrickson, right? That's pretty much it, right? They got Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks, but they corners. That's a question mark for me. Wiggins, he's up
like
and down.
Nate?
I like Nate at his peak. He plays very well, but then he has them lows and them valleys where, he giving up a lot of plays.
That's young moments, man.
Maybe the young moments, but they still moments. But Marlon Humphrey, right?
You don't like Humphrey?
He 112th in pass coverage rating. 112.
Oh, it says 112 years old.
That too. He about going on year 10
He
right
go
now.
down every game.
So
but he's never hurt.
I'll take Pittsburgh secondary 2 times before I take the Ravens, and I know the Ravens added some pieces on offense, especially in the draft with Jacoby Lane, who was a great player out of SC, right? That's gonna help them. Elijah Surratt, that's gonna help them. But Declan Doyle, man, that's my big question mark. You coming in as I'm liking to call him Decline Doyle because I feel like he gonna have the Ravens on the decline. I'm like
Decline
Skip.
Doyle.
You're gonna give him a shot.
Yeah,
He
that was
ain't
very
even-
different.
he ain't
That baseball,
He
it
ain't even
bothers
suited
me.
up yet.
That baseball
Decline.
bothers me, man.
Preseason.
Decline Doyle, man.
All right, is it just
I don't
age
know,
or
man.
what's
He
up?
going to
That-
another
that's a good
offense.
one.
Right?
I
You like
that's
that one,
clever.
Skip?
That might
just-
stick
I
around
Like
here.
it, man. We're going to tag that.
Yeah.
But he talking about going to 3 and 4 wide receivers. I don't really think they have the personnel to be doing that. They need to keep running the ball, right? You have the best running back in the league.
You don't think they're gonna run the ball? He coming from Detroit.
If you gonna come out of
He coming
12,
from Chicago.
you gonna come out of 12 and run 11 and 10 personnel?
But,
it's
that's
gonna
not
be
what
harder.
in Chicago they ran a lot of 12. They ran a lot of 21
No, I
personnel too, with
said
2
12,
backs.
not 11 though. You're gonna keep one tight end. I think you need to run more 12, right?
Yeah,
you're
they
gonna
should. They will.
Got rid of the fullback who was a dog, who led the way for your running back. I don't like it. I don't like it. And then I look at the Bengals, right? They bring in some defensive help, Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan Allen, to make that middle of the defense more stout, right? Boy Mafe. But that's secondary too, man. 30th in passing yards, 32nd in efficiency.
Yeah.
They really didn't help out the secondary. I know they brought in Brian Cook from KC. I like safety. Jordan Battle, he had a great season last year. The corner, DJ Turner, but I think they could have added a little bit more help at the corner position. And I just think overall, Pittsburgh, with what they have and what they retain, is better than what the other teams did in the offseason.
So they're gonna win.
You have them winning the North?
I do have them winning the North. Cleveland, I didn't mention them. They did a lot with that offensive line, but they don't know who their quarterback going to be. And it all starts there. You don't even know who your quarterback going to be.
Well, I know who it should be.
Yeah, we know who. Look, I don't know. Deshaun Watson was looking good in the little.
Shit, I can go out there and look good in pajamas.
But Shador, he did his thing. Won some games for him. They got the offensive line right. Added,
So you're not sold on Shador?
I'm not sold on the Browns as a whole right now. I'm not sold. The defense, they played very well last year, but they lost their coordinator as well. So we'll see. I like the head coach. I think they're going to do some good things with that offense overall, but I'm just not sold on them to win the division as of yet.
Yeah.
What you got, QB?
No, I don't think the Steelers win the AFC North. That's because I think the Baltimore Ravens win the AFC North. I think it's their year. They made some aggressive, risky moves this offseason, but I think it's going to pay off for them. The first thing they did was fire John Harbaugh and hire Jesse Minter, a guy who's never been a head coach before. That's a bold move for a team that's currently in their Super Bowl window and has a win now roster. But even though it was a bold move, it was the right move. They needed a new, fresh voice inside that organization, and Jesse Minter has proven to have success everywhere he's been. Now, it's been as a defensive coordinator, not a head coach, but I think that will translate, and I think he can help the Ravens get over that hump. He's also, even though he's a new voice, he has familiarity with Baltimore. He was there from 2017 to 2020. He understands what the expectations are, and he knows what it takes to compete and win in the AFC North. But it's not just their coach. I also like their roster. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, they have Lamar Jackson, who's a two-time MVP. They have Derrick Henry, who just ran for 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns in year 10. There's been no loss of production. He's got to be a little bit better holding onto the football, but he can still come out and give you 100, 150-yard games and put multiple touchdowns on the board. I like Zay Flowers. I like Bateman. I also like that you mentioned they added Jacoby Lane and Surratt from Indiana, two bigger physical receivers that will complement.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jacoby Lane. I watched him at USC. Not the fastest guy in the world, doesn't create a ton of separation, but when it comes to catch radius and contested catches.
How big is he?
He's 6'4", 215-ish, I would say, 220, but he plays big. He plays that big, Skip. He does a good job of going up and making those tough catches.
Yep.
Put it in his vicinity, he's going to come down with the football. Now, they do need to fix the offensive line. They got to be better next year, and it's going to be tough after losing Tyler Lindenbaum. But they went out and got John Simpson, and I also like that they added Ioane from Penn State to come in. I think he'll be a day one starter. Now to Declan Doyle. That's the biggest move they made this offseason. I oppose TJ a little bit with this. I think Declan Doyle is going to do a good job in Baltimore. I know he's never called an offense before, but he sat and learned under Ben Johnson every day last year, and he knows what it takes to run an efficient, high-powered offense. I think that will carry over
1 year, right?
To Baltimore. It was 1 year, but you can learn a lot in 1 year, Skip. You guys know it. I spend more time with coaches and my teammates than I do my family during an NFL season. Game planning, scripting, going over practice film, doing all these different things. So I promise you Declan Doyle got a lot of knowledge from Ben Johnson. He knows what it takes to go and run an efficient offense. And the other thing, too, I think that's a positive for him is the fact that he is young and inexperienced, because now he's going to come to Baltimore with an open mind. It's going to allow him and Lamar to collaborate on this offense. They're going to take things that worked in Chicago. They're going to combine it with things that have worked in Baltimore the last couple of seasons. And I can't wait to see what they come up with on the offensive side of the ball. Now looking at the defense, it brings me right back to their head coach, Jesse Minter. They made a lot of great moves, but I can't wait to see what they do running that scheme. The reason you hire a guy like Jesse Minter is because of the success he's had on the defensive side of the ball. Won a national championship in Michigan. That year they had the number one defense in the entire country. Then it translates to the NFL. He goes to the Chargers and has back-to-back top 5 defenses and had the number 1 scoring defense in 2024. I think he can get Baltimore back to the level of play and the standard that's expected with a Baltimore Ravens defense, and I think he can do it this year because of the talent they have on that roster. So I like what the Steelers have done this offseason. I think it's very beneficial for them to have Aaron Rodgers back. Don't sleep on the Bengals. There's still a big question mark on the Browns, but I think it's Baltimore's year. They're going to have a lot of success in 2026, and that includes a AFC North Division
The biggest
championship.
thing the Ravens got going for them is Lamar Jackson. He's going to do it, what he do year in and year out. I could be the offensive coordinator, literally.
No.
And Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. Give them the ball, let Lamar do what he do.
But you can't just live and die
But what
by
I'm
that.
saying
You've
is-
got to incorporate, you've got to be two-dimensional. You've got to be balanced. You've got to have
but
success
we know that
throwing the
just from
football
our
as well.
20 years in football. I know you got to run the ball to set up the play action. I know all that shit. I know route concepts. I know that. But guess what? Players win football games. Lamar
Agreed.
Jackson is arguably the best player in the NFL. That's what's going to get them to the playoffs. Now, what they do in the playoffs and beyond, that will be telling if they are worth the Baltimore hiring. Because Jesse Minter's defense ain't do shit in the playoffs. With the Chargers, they didn't do shit in the playoffs.
They was solid. It ain't like the Patriots just scored 30 on their ass.
They scored but a good 20-something.
Yeah, but the offense also struggled heavily. I
Don't
can't
matter.
put that game
You
on
got
the
a defense, you supposed to hold them. I don't give a damn what our
They
offense
had
is.
hella sacks.
Yeah, you
and
still got to help
they
on
ball.
offense, man. I think they had
but-
5 sacks in that.
I mean, your coach is he ain't gonna play no downs.
Exactly.
But he's gonna do shit like what Wade did with Vaughn. I'm gonna draw one thing, get us a
Yes.
turnover. That was strictly Wade Phillips, right? You know what play
yeah,
I'm
for
talking
sure.
about? That was Wade, drew that up. Exactly how I said it was gonna happen, it happened. So that's how they win games, bro. They slow teams down. They put us in positions to win.
So you think
Exactly.
Jesse Minter is capable of Wade Phillips was coaching for 30 years?
I mean, he's proved so far that he's had success everywhere he's gone.
Hell
He's the
yeah.
number one defense in Michigan when they won a natty.
Michigan college don't count. You get the best player.
Okay, so then but that's what I'm saying. It translated to the NFL. He comes to Los Angeles with the Chargers, has back-to-back top 5 defense, and led the NFL in scoring defense in 2024. That's tough to do as a second-year defensive coordinator in the league. Yeah. And you're playing in the AFC West with a lot of high-powered offense.
You saying he a bad D coordinator?
Broncos.
No, I'm not saying he's a bad D
yeah.
coordinator. I'm not saying he's a bad D coordinator at all, but we're talking about getting over the hump with the Baltimore Ravens and winning the division.
But that's the thing.
We're not talking about being a good team.
Well, winning the division is not the issue. I think it's
but the
they
thing
always,
well in playoff.
that ain't really getting over the hump for them. They always win the
they
division.
always
they got
win the
a
division.
Super Bowl.
We're talking about doing well in the
To
playoffs.
the conversation, but okay, for the division's sake, I'll shut up.
So I hear what TJ just said about Lamar Jackson. I'm definitely a believer. They're going to go as far as he goes with some help from Decline Doyle.
Man,
That's crazy.
that's wild.
But
I love it.
in this division, who has the baddest quarterback and the baddest receiver?
Oh,
the
wow.
bag.
Thank you so
Hey,
much, Skip. The
thank you.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I mean,
You're saying Burrow over Lamar?
yeah,
Yes.
When healthy.
when healthy.
Lamar wasn't
I
healthy
ain't
last
taking
year
Burrow.
either. Lamar gets hurt
I
too.
mean,
Exactly.
as soon as Joe
taking
got
Joe.
healthy last year,
Burrow.
the script just flipped. I mean, he walks back in the door and they go to Baltimore. And
Storm.
really? He's that guy. He's him, right? So, again, I picked him last year. You picked him last year. And I kind of need to see how it shapes up in the preseason, see what they look like.
Yeah.
They made a few
They got a
moves.
lot of new pieces.
They got a lot of new pieces. And I'm not sure about them. I'm just sure about him and that receiver. Because that receiver, Akib agrees, he is
Top dog.
He is
and
it.
they're not done. They're restructuring
receivers.
Joe Burrow's
Yeah,
contract right now. They're not
Receivers,
done.
because you got
I
T.
know,
Higgins, and
T.
don't sleep on Josivach, too, as a
No,
solid number
okay,
3.
Listen,
They got receivers.
they are hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow ain't afraid of nobody. Ain't afraid of no ghosts. Ain't afraid. You know, he's Joe Burrow.
That one.
So, look, you guys know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. He's a shell of his MVP self. And I think you might even sort of agree with that. Shell of MVP self. And I can just back it up with his last 3 full seasons. The last one in Green Bay, the one with the Jets, the one last year with Pittsburgh. He finished in QBR ranking 26th in the league, 25th in the league, 23rd in the league. It's just screaming at you that he's just hanging on for dear life to what he used to be. Because the guy I watched last year, he's lost most of his nerve in the pocket, so he throws it in like 1.4 seconds. And I got it. He's really gifted at getting rid of the football quickly. Maybe to the tight ends, as you said. He's going to love his tight ends.
Yeah.
And Akib, you opened this discussion up. You made nothing but great points about Pittsburgh because they did a lot of good things. I'm not a McCarthy guy, but at least it's just a change in vibe,
Right.
feeling. And I love Mike Tomlin, but now it just feels like it's on the verge of being pretty great until I look at the quarterback again. And the last time I saw him play, they lost 30-6 at home in a home playoff game in which he had a QBR of 15. And he had 2 huge turnovers that flipped the game on its head. And it's just, this shocks me about, because I go way back with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the old Cowboys-Steelers rivalry through the 70s and the 2 Super Bowls they played against each other. These are the freaking Steelers, cornerstone, bedrock NFL. And I just can't believe they got stuck in the Aaron Rodgers trap. And I don't think he'll be awful, but usually they're playing chess. They're ahead of the curve where they've got the kid ready to go. And they don't have any kids ready to go, although you agreed with me. Will Howard, I don't know what happened to him because he was really good at Ohio State.
He was.
Led the whole country in QBR that year and won the national championship. And he's a big strapping kid, who can stand up to the hard weather and all that. Okay. But I don't know. I just think you keep reaching back from blasts from the past. Give us a blast from the past, Aaron. Really? At some point, you just got to face the reality that, he loves to play. And they did seem to really love playing with him. All the vets seemed to love him last year. And I think he was on his best behavior because he can be a finger-pointing, blame-deflecting diva. He's worse than LeBron when it comes to that, to me. They remind me of each other a little bit. They're both very talented, but you remember, Aaron Rodgers is 7-10 in playoff games since that one long ago, far away Super Bowl. What was it, 15 years ago? Okay? I don't know. I can't get excited, except I think it's good for the league to have Aaron Rodgers still afloat. You know, it's just, he's a big draw. He's a big name. I mean, is he?
I do think it was their best option.
Okay, well, I guess. I don't think Will Howard ever got a chance. I don't know what happened.
There's probably a reason
Then
he
they
never
draft Allard too.
Yeah,
in the
they
third.
did.
See, but with that, Skip,
Back to
they've
the plan.
tried things at quarterback. It's
Yeah.
not like
Mason Rudolph.
Well, no,
Yeah.
but they
didn't
drafted
do
Kenny
bad. He
Pickett
went
in the
500.
first round. Then they got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. They've tried multiple
No,
things
that's
at
true.
quarterback. None of it's working.
Yeah.
So right now, their best option, whether you like it or not, is Aaron Rodgers. And I'm a big fan of Will Howard. He played really well his senior
Yeah.
year
He did.
at Ohio State and Chip Kelly's offense. And I think
Yep.
if given a shot, he could be successful in the NFL. But that's a big risk right now because you spent a lot of money on your defense. You have a win now roster. You just made moves on offense to get better. So bringing in a guy who's never played before while you're in the Super Bowl window, and you also
Yeah.
went and got a veteran head coach like Mike McCarthy to help you get over the hump, could be a huge risk because you could regress at the quarterback position. Aaron Rodgers showed more than enough last year, I think, to help them win games and win the North this year. I just don't think they will. But arm talent-wise is still there. Mobility's not quite as much, and that's why he's getting the ball out a little bit quicker. But towards the end of the season, even in that game against Baltimore to win the division, big-time throw after big-time throw. So he's still got that clutch gene. He just, again, has lost a step or two with his age.
Yeah, used them feet.
With what?
With that bootleg he ran.
Yeah, man.
Naked like Peyton Manning out there.
That's not what you want happening, though. That's why you go get Rico Dowdle. That's why you have Warren back. You got to get the run game going. Got to get the defense better. You spend all that money,
better
and they
system, too.
underperform.
Better system.
Arthur Smith, he came with his own little nuance
did.
to the system, but
Yep.
that shit played out, man.
Yep.
Get up to date with
Get
the
up to
system.
date.
You know what I'm saying? I think they doing that with Angelico. So I don't know, man. I give them a lot of wins. I don't think they're just gonna be a pushover. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
Agreed.
to me, Mike McCarthy is the worst motivator I've ever closely observed because he's just like a bump on the sideline log. But that team is so veteran and has so many strong locker room leaders. I don't know that he matters. See, with the Cowboys, they don't have that big dog leader,
Right.
that alpha.
You got real vets.
Yeah.
in that locker
Yeah,
room.
They got real
Proven
hardcore vets.
players.
Yeah.
that
That's
have
what you
been
need.
elite.
You need
Yeah.
a coach that's going to coach the vets
Yeah.
and let them relay the message.
Yeah.
That works better a lot of times as opposed to coming
That is
with an
true.
older coach
Yeah.
with a young-ass team. It's like it's the disconnect. It's a little disconnect, and you don't have no vets there to connect it for you. But Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, bring that magic back. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at it like that. They both had their best years together. Now, they both was younger, but still, you bring in a different system, like Lee said, that's more favorable to keeping it simple.
Yep.
Run the ball, play action, 12, 13, 11 personnel, and see what happens from there.
This division, it's like,
This division.
hey, it's riveting, man.
Yeah.
It's
When
like
everyone's
must-see
healthy in this
TV.
division,
Whew.
yeah.
That shit back when I was playing with the Browns, man, shit, that's
Yeah.
just
Hey.
cold.
Shit, damn near our whole career.
oh.
Shit.
Hey.
Yeah.
It was good.
And
If
Yeah.
Cleveland,
Up in the air.
if Cleveland can get their offense figured
Hey,
out and get it
I-
going, it's going to be 4 for 4 in this division.
Hey, because Cleveland has had, I know you don't love the quarterback situation, but they have had 2 straight A-plus drafts, like A-plus,
Yeah,
where you
agreed.
just say, whoa. Because at some point, all that talent just rises to the top, and you can't help but be good.
Exactly. And
like
if
that.
they played their cards right, they would be right there. They would be, the next window would be theirs. But,
Yep.
we ain't seen them play their cards right in a while.
So you still have them finishing fourth in the
Yeah, they going to finish fourth just because it started. It already started. The season already started, man. This shit started in April with the morale and our belief going into the system. We in damn near, what is it, May?
May.
Look, man, we a month behind. Cleveland still don't know the quarter. They just ain't playing their cards right.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they play their cards, if they just said, fuck it. We got rid of Deshaun, Shador our guy, and we going into it like that, the morale will be sky high in that fucking building and they'll be coming.
That's true.
But they just ain't
I
playing
think
their
the thing
cards
with
right.
Cleveland right now is, yes, they want to be competitive this year, but they're looking for the future. They're looking
Yeah,
for
see?
27, 28. They're
Yeah.
looking ahead.
See, motherfuckers like the
always looking
Broncos.
for the future.
See, motherfuckers like
Always.
the Broncos.
They always
When
hope
is
that's
it going to
because
be
they've
win
been
now?
put
You
in those
still have a
positions
top, you have a
before.
top 5
Like-
defense.
that-
Why aren't you winning now?
But you also just got a new head coach and you have questions at quarterback and you have the worst
offense.
See,
offensive
motherfuckers like the Broncos don't give a fuck
Their
about
win
that.
now.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Their
Regardless
defense
of their
is-
question mark at
But look,
quarterback.
but
You
it-
just
you
said
have-
that about the Steelers.
Yes, no, but you have to have an offense to complement the defense. There's too many times that the defense were winning games for them, and the offense couldn't put points on the board. Whether you want to blame Stefanski, whether you want to blame the weapons on the outside, the offensive line, the quarterback controversy, all of those things played a factor.
You blaming
But
upstairs.
yeah, agreed. There's a lot
You
of
got a
different
guy
factors
who
in
did
this.
nothing but win since youth football, then this D2, then D. Let's put the winner in.
Then
let's,
go with
let's,
it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the point. Go with it.
they
go
won't
with
go
it.
with it. That's the
no-
whole point. And
been
good,
history.
good orgs like the Broncos, they ain't never worry about the future, bro. We try and win a chip every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. with
Every
Cleveland.
year.
You were there. I was there. They
Yeah, if
haven't
anybody
had great
knows it.
leadership starting from the top. So
That's
they're
my
not
point.
a great organization right now. They've been fighting to get to that. They're trying to make these moves with coaching hires and draft picks and trades and all these different things to get there. It just hasn't worked for them.
Last quick point about Aaron Rodgers that you made first. This was actually an early commitment from him. Like seriously, I thought it'd be like July 25th, and he'd say, yeah, because he knows he's got them backed into a corner because they don't have a better option. So to your point,
Yeah.
right? So for him to commit this early, I thought
They
was
must have
pretty
been
good.
knocking at his door.
Right. He got to come get this system down, get this
Yeah.
timing down. And
Yeah.
Well, this is always interesting for me to see listen to you guys and then also hear from the people and listen to the chat. So Ravens by a landslide, the chat voted for.
thank you, chat.
And then
Chat
the
knows
rest
how
of
to-
them, this is what shocked me. The Steelers and the Browns are tied.
Wow.
For what they think they're, and then the Bengals are a little bit above. But I'm like, dang,
Oh,
they view the Browns and the Steelers right at that same.
I mean,
so
they won the division last year. How they could be last, that's crazy.
Well,
yeah.
Cleveland also beat Pittsburgh at the end of the year, too, when they went head-to-head. So I guarantee you that plays a little bit of a factor. That defense can win you games. That's not my argument. My argument is, though, if they want to be contending for the AFC North, the offense has to catch up. as well.
I get
So
it.
Shadur Sanders beat Aaron Rodgers head-to-head.
He did.
Pretty good.
At
Pretty
home.
good. Pretty
He
impressive.
had some big time. And I know a lot of people say the defense played really well, which they did, but he had some big time throws and showed some growth in that game. That's not an easy position to be put in.
Well, I do believe the AFC North is going to be back this year, and it's
be a
always
battle
electric
for
to
sure.
watch. So I do have some breaking news for you guys. It just happened while we're on live. So I'm going to get the boys' live reaction here. So the Jets have and running back Breece Hall have reached terms on an extension. Jets give Hall a long-term deal instead of paying him his tag, which was what was planned. 3 years, $45.75 million, a little over $15 million annually, making him the third highest paid back in the league. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on the Jets extending Breece Hall and how they've operated the season. I'm going to go with you first, Hakeem.
nice, man. He deserves
like
it.
it?
He's
Deserve
one of
it.
the best all-around backs in the league.
He is.
And they need to lock him in for Arch. They got to make sure Arch got a good running back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Finish building his line. They got some weapons outside. And they're trying to do something, man. They got to build the team up. So they planning for the future. They still going to tank this year. You know what I'm saying?
You keep
Extension
saying
or
that.
no extension. They tanking this year for Arch, but lock him in. That's a guy you want.
They've made a
the guy
lot
you
of
want
moves
toting the
this
rock.
offseason,
Yeah.
though.
Not that many. They had about $150 million. They spent about $30-40 million before this right here. So they saving their cash. They know what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with the move, too. I think this is well-deserved, and you got to look at who their offensive coordinator now is. It's Frank Wright, and he loves to run 12 personnel. He loves to run the football. His offense is at its best when they can run the ball and get the ball to their tight ends, and it's also planning for the future. Obviously they have Geno Smith right now. Russell Wilson is in talks with them to come over to New York,
We'll
and then they
talk
also
about
just
that,
drafted
yeah.
Klubnik in the 4th round. Say all that to say there's question marks at quarterback, so this was a plan for the future. They want to make sure whether it's Arch or whoever that quarterback is in the future is coming into a great situation on offense, and by keeping Breece Hall, that's going to put him in a great spot.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I love to see these players get paid, but that's a big ticket for a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
That 1,000-yard season in 4 years, only 5 touchdowns max. I mean, I think I could go get a running back in the draft and save me some more ducats. But I
kinda
like
with you,
Breece Hall
DJ.
as a player. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He definitely is a good runner. He's very elusive. But we talking about production here. And it's 1,000-yard season in 4 years and 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns max. So I don't think I would have paid that ticket. But congratulations to him, nonetheless. But I would have got somebody out that draft.
Yeah, but he did miss some time because of the
That's
games. He had
another
the knee
thing.
injury. Where there
Availability
was a scare
is the
last
best
year.
ability.
O-line.
They also had a terrible
It's not all on
O-line.
him.
That's really
When
hard
he's healthy,
for
man,
him.
he
Did they
is
fix that O-line, though?
top 10, top 15 back.
I
in
would
the
have worked
NFL.
on that
Yeah.
first.
No, they got the paper to do all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So let's do it.
But it is hard to perform as a running back with a terrible.
Oh, it's impossible. It's, you know, it's
So above
very, very
1,000
hard.
yards with
Especially
that?
Barry Sanders.
Pretty good.
Breece Hall won me over at Iowa State. I just said
Yeah, he's
he can
man.
play.
Fun to watch.
He can catch it, and he can run with it. And I get what you say about the totality. The numbers isn't that impressive, but he's one of those highlight guys where if you just see a play or two here or there, you just say, oh, okay, I got it.
Right.
You know? And I am with you on this one. You got to make sure you have him for next year and the next year and for about 3 years, because you need, if it is Arch, you got to give him a security blanket behind him who's legit. And yet he's so legit to me that if he stays healthy for all 17, it's like you're too good for your own good. So you got to be careful that you don't accidentally win a game or two here or there that cost you, right? Because he's good enough to go win a game or two here or there.
And don't run him into the dirt this season.
Oh, they won't.
Yeah.
Oh, they won't do that.
Smith back there.
You rest. Oh, you need an off day?
They
take
won't
it.
do that this year. You ain't got to worry
Yeah.
about that.
And to your point, TJ, I mean, his rookie year, he was on track for 1,000 yards before he got hurt. The next year, he comes back and has 994 rushing yards. So he's 6 away from 1,000. The next year is 870, and then he has 1,000. So it's not like he's at 200 to 300 yards. There's not a big drop off. He's damn near 1,000-yard back every season, giving you 5 touchdowns. Now you put some pieces around him with the offensive line, get the pass game working a little bit better so you get less loaded boxes. I think we will see an improved Breece Hall, and then you get the quarterback situation figured out in the future.
I think we've seen lesser running backs go for 1,000 yards. You know, I think that's standard for a good running back in the NFL right now. Give me 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Whether it's Rico Dowdle, you know, any of those type of running backs, Jalen Warren, we talked about the Steelers running backs, Quinton Jenkins. I think any running back coming out the draft with a decent O-line should give me 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, so but if you give him a decent O-line,
He give you 1,500.
he gonna give you 1,500 with it. You could just look at the backs, bub. You know, you tackle them motherfuckers all your life.
Yeah.
You could just look at the backs, man. You say, all right, you take Breece
he
Hall
cold, for sure.
and put him in Seattle backfield. Like, bro, he gonna go fucking nuts, bro. I could just tell, bro. I'm like, man, it's levels to it, and he one of the top dogs in that backfield, playing on a bum team.
All right, so the guys like it, the chat likes it, so this is breaking news. But we're going to move on to the Cowboys a little bit because it's been 9 months since the Micah Parsons trade broke the internet. And so, of course, Stephen Jones was asked on Mad Dog Radio if the Cowboys feel they're on the right side of history after the Micah Parsons trade. Now that the draft's panned out, things have panned out, let's hear what he had to say.
You look back on the Micah situation, any regrets on how that was handled? It took 365 days plus. Do you feel like you're on the right side of history there?
Yeah, we feel really good about it. Obviously, much respect for Micah and what he stands for and how he plays and the caliber of player he is. But, you know, at the same time, we feel good about what we've added, you know, via that trade. And you look at a guy like Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark, they're alpha players. I just feel very optimistic that we have the right pieces in place to go out. And, that ultimately, the decision we made was, that one player is not worth, 4 or 5 good ones. And we feel like that's where we're going to end up here and in a good spot. And, we had that opportunity there and didn't feel like we were one player away last year, but I certainly feel like we're putting the pieces together, to give us an opportunity to go do what our fans deserve, what we want, which is to go try and win the big trophy.
So, Skip, we all know you are not a Micah Parsons fan, but do you agree with Stephen here?
For once, I agree with something one of the Joneses said, father or son. And this time it was son who said, I feel really good about where that trade left us, and I, as a fan, feel really good about where it left us. I just step back from this and think, God, we came very close to paying Micah Parsons $50 million a year to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And it's just not worth it. I'd rather have the 5 players that we have right now instead of that one player. And yet you have to, it's hard to convince you guys because I live and die with these playoff games. I went through 4 playoff games with Micah Parsons, and he no-showed completely in 3 of them. And in the fourth one, we blew out Tampa at Tampa, and it was a 45-year-old Tom Brady against the 8-9 Bucks. And Micah got a sack in the final minute of a 32-14 game. That's his lone playoff sack in 4 playoff games. It's just not good enough for me to be worth $50 million. And I saw 2 teammates, DeMarcus Lawrence and Malik Hooker, blast him for caring more about his social media than about winning championships and being a leader of a football team. And Stephen Jones is right. Quinnen and Kenny Clark are alpha leaders. They're anchors for the defensive line, and they're hard to find. So we got that. And then we were able to add 3 more players, and I just hope against hope that Malachi Lawrence does turn into, just an approximation of Micah Parsons, if he can give us some Micah Parsons. And Devin Moore and LT Overton, I just hope they turn into starters, if not stars. And that's 5 players. And then I also like what Steven said about, we've added the equivalent of 5 first-round draft choices to our defense because it is Caleb Downs and Rashawn Gary and Quinnen and Kenny and Malachi Lawrence. That's the equivalent of adding 5 first, because they were first round, like you could, Kenny wasn't, but they have that kind of impact, kind of Pro Bowl impact. Yeah. So the totality of it, I'm good with. Let's go forward with this and hope that the kids rise and shine.
I don't really like to agree with Skip, but I agree with Skip. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. But shit, he hit it on the head. They was not one player away.
No.
That defense was not one player away, man. It's a solid defense on paper now. If you look at it, man, they, like you said, they add Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, Malachi Lawrence. You save money. Now you can sign Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, bring back Javonte. Like the picks and the money all came into play to help you rebuild or rebuild that defense. So it was. You always want to keep a player like Parsons, though. He's one of the most disruptive guys in the league. If I could keep him, and we had the money to keep him, I'm trying to keep him. Yeah. And it just wasn't going to look good. If you sign him, you're going to be in cap hell trying to get all the rest of these people and you're just going to be
because of Dak, because of CD, and now because of Pickens.
Okay? Exactly. So you probably wasn't going to be able to bring back Javonte. Nope. Pickens, like, I don't know. It's like you just wasn't going to be in a good spot if you signed him.
You'd have to restructure, and
you're just going to be in cap hell. Your money situation going to be all messed up if you keep him. But, man, if you tell me I could get rid of Parsons, then I could bring back a equally disruptive guy in the middle. Yeah. I'm doing that all day long. You know what I'm saying? So I think they won. I think it was a good move. I think if you look at their roster and what they gonna put out this year, I think the Cowboys gonna feel real good about the trade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. I think that was the most valuable move this entire season or off season, whatever you want to call it. Their immediate return on investment, Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, right? Malachi Lawrence, who knows what he can be? He can be Parsons, right?
Maybe.
Or he could be a little bit worse,
so.
But
It doesn't think so.
I hope so. I don't know. I thought it was a little
I don't see no Parsons in him, but
he's got
different
speed,
style
he got power,
Yeah.
and when you clogging up the middle, that's really what you want from the outside.
That is true.
And when I was looking, at the draft picks and bringing in Rashawn Gary, you bring Kobe Durant in, Caleb Downs, who is can play the nickel, can play the free safety, can play the strong safety with the safeties that you already got there, and you brought in Jalen Thomas. Man, that defense is looking very formidable. And if you've noticed,
you'd go all the way to formidable.
It's looking formidable.
It was
still out there. I like it.
It was the worst defense in franchise history.
Yeah, but when you're not bringing in one player and you filling all these holes with a bunch of quality professionals,
they're
right?
Quality.
Pro Bowl type players, early round draft picks.
Okay.
It could change overnight. Now you got a new DC who's had success in coaching the secondary in Denver, right? What
he did
last year. So, I think it's there. But when I look at the biggest factor in this is attitude, man. And Micah's attitude is not a serious attitude to me. Whether you look at the interview he did with Myles Garrett, and he was talking about him being better, and Myles was sitting there like, well, I got to stop the run, and I got to do this. And it was just a seriousness that I want from somebody playing that position. It's too playful for me. Is that the last guy you want to be with you in the alley? What they say that saying?
You want to take him in
the alley with you? I could name a bunch of outside rushers that I would want before I bring Micah Parsons with me.
Great point.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So I need a serious leader that's about ball 24/7 if I'm going to give you 50 a year.
50 a year.
Yeah. No, I agree with Stephen Jones. I agree with what you guys said. The Cowboys should feel good about the moves they've made since the Micah Parsons trade. When you look at the 5 guys that they've added for Micah Parsons, 2 of which should be key pieces on the defense this year, especially in Christian Parker's scheme, hopefully for the next 3 to 5 years. Malachi Lawrence, I think, could potentially be a starter in this 3-4 defense, or at worst will be a pass rusher that comes in on third down or obvious passing situations.
That's
just
probably more likely.
Well, that way he can get his feel and ease his way into the NFL and get comfortable with his pass moves, and then gets more of a workload as the time goes on. And then the other 2 guys, the Moore and Overton, 2 guys that I liked. I watched them in college. I think they could potentially contribute this year. But when you look at this situation in its entirety, Skip, you said it best, I know the Cowboys had the worst season they've had defensively in franchise history last year. And a big part of that wasn't just the players, it was also the scheme they ran under Eberflus, but it was a bad year. But the year before that, with Micah Parsons in 2024, they were 28th in total defense, they were 31st in scoring defense, and they were also 29th in rushing defense. Now, I'm not putting that all on one player. I'm not saying that Micah Parsons was the reason the defense was bad. He did his part, and he missed 4 games that year and still had 12 sacks in 13 games. So I'm not blaming him, but the Cowboys realized that they had other positional needs they needed to address, and they couldn't do that if you pay Micah Parsons $50 million. I know that they didn't see the benefits from that this year, but I think the moves they've made are going to pay off, and we're going to start to see the progress on defense this season with those players. So I do like the move. It's tough to replace a guy like Micah Parsons. Is he one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, one of the best defensive players in the NFL? Absolutely, but the Cowboys needed to add more players at other positions, so I think they did make the right move.
Yeah, and to your points, I don't know what to expect from Christian Parker. I do like the bloodlines he's been through, where he's learned from masters in both places, in Denver and Philadelphia. And yet, there's still pieces remaining, which you have reminded me of, but Overshown is still there, but he was there a lot last year, and they had the worst defense in franchise history.
But he missed the first
he did. And he never was quite like on his skis, like you don't trust it, because he had complete reconstruction of that knee. And then that Shamar James from Florida, I saw flashes where I said, okay. And Leofau from Notre Dame, I see flashes, and they're going to try to turn him into an edge rusher. Mm-hmm. So the pieces are all there. If Christian Parker is right, I thought, silly me, going into last year, Eberflus, he had a great reputation as a defensive guy, and it was a disaster. So will Christian Parker just flip the switch and turn it around? I hope so. I like it that he's 34 years old, and he's bringing in
Bring that young juice, that energy every day.
Young juice.
You saw how he helped develop. He was a DB coach in Philly. He's worked with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. He's helped develop those guys. I think that's going to translate to coaching an entire defense.
But you talk about Declan having the year, with Ben, and this kid, and he's a kid to me, had much years with Vance and Fangio. Okay, that'll work.
And you know what? When you don't have film of you calling a defense, when you don't have an example of what your defense is going to look like, you have to crush those interview process, and you have to be able to go in there and tell them, this is my plan with this defense. This is where I see us going. And obviously the Cowboys felt great about it, so I'm excited to see what that plan is.
It's crazy to look back a year ago and watch this all blow up and the whole world so upset about Micah Parsons, and now it might have just worked out.
I mean, not to mention, he's in the tub right now.
Right? Right?
On an ACL injury.
Well, and I don't think we'll know who won this trade, at least for 1 to 3 years. It's going to come down to Micah's production on the field in Green Bay and how successful they are. It's also going to come down to the production of the players that the Cowboys added, and can they get back to at least the NFC Championship
I don't think it'll
game.
take that long.
I think it's written on the wall right now.
I don't think it's
think
written
this
on
year
the
we'll
wall
know?
right now, but through the first 8 to 10 games of the season,
Really?
we'll know who won this trade. Because if the Cowboys
You don't even need
defense-
3 years. You need
Hell nah.
8 games.
8 to 10 weeks. If the Cowboys defense is balling and they top, then it's gonna be like, hey, look, we straight over here.
Yeah.
Or if the Cowboys trash again on defense and Parsons come back and Green Bay is the same thing they was last year, top dog defense, Parsons terrorizing shit, then we gonna be like, hey man, Parsons is the fucking difference maker. So 8 to 10 weeks, bro, we'll know who won it.
All right. You know we're going to cover it then too. So let's, all right, we talked immensely on the show about how a player's personal life can really, really affect their career. So I want to take a look at Stefon Diggs right now because you know this man is constantly in the headlines, and this week he was found actually not guilty on strangulation charges and incident with a private chef. So that's great for him. But Diggs, at 32 years old, he still had 1,000 yards receiving and helped his team get to the Super Bowl, yet he is still a free agent. So Skip, would it be smart for a team to sign Stefon Diggs?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you about all the baggage, and trust me, there are a lot of GMs in this league who are just going to say, nah, it's just more trouble than worth, even though he's never been convicted of anything that he's been accused of.
But he's been released by a lot of teams.
He has been,
For a
this
reason.
would be his 4th team in 4 years,
Yeah.
which is troubling. And he had a Pro Bowl run from 20 to 24 in Buffalo with Josh Allen. So was it more Josh than Stefon? They finally said Stefon wants too much of the shine and the glory. And they said, no, we can do better. And they're still looking for the next Stefon in Buffalo, to me. And
Yeah.
yet, I really liked what he did for Drake May last year.
Yeah.
And for that team. Every time I watched them on some big Sunday night game, it just looked like that team went as Stefon went. Like he was setting the tone. He was in sideline huddles and pregame. He was, I can't say, because I wasn't around the team, I can't say he was the leader, but he was a leader of that team.
Definitely.
And he did not have much of a Super Bowl, which shocked me because I thought he was going to rise and shine in the Super Bowl because he is a big game player going back to the Minnesota Miracle. Remember that one? Mm-hmm. That was something.
Yeah.
That's a droppable pass, right? I mean, when that ball's in the air, it's a little scary,
it was
right?
there.
Do or die.
20 seconds.
Big play.
Yeah. And yet, I look around the league, and I'm not trying to help a rival of mine in the NFC East, but I look at that young quarterback coming back in Washington, and they need another one. They need somebody outside of Scary Terry to help him, to give him what Debo couldn't give him last year. And Stefon Diggs he's going to play, he'll be 33 in November. But I just think he knows how to play football and knows how to get open. And I'm not saying he's 2020 Stefon Diggs, but I don't think he's more trouble than he's worth. And I think right place, right time, he's going to have to take a little less money probably, a little bit more of a show me kind of a deal, incentive laden. And I think he could really help the Washington Commanders. That's what I think.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know about the Commanders, but I think he could help a team win. I think he played well last year. He got another year like last year in him. I think he got another one. He finished good, Super Bowl one major, but
No.
I think he still looked good at the end of that year. Now, if you sign him, you know he's gonna bring his media bag with
He
him.
will.
The attention is gonna be there, but he also gonna bring them numbers. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bring that leadership. He was a I put it like a vocal leader.
He was.
Yeah. Like you said, when you watch them big games,
did.
and you know, before we come out the tunnel and you see somebody talk, Stefon Diggs was the
He's
one
talking.
doing all the talking
I
every
agree.
time. You know what I'm saying? So he was a vocal leader for the Patriots last year. So I think the Commanders, that's a young guy still. That's a younger quarterback. I think he need to go to a real veteran quarterback, a team who needs some presence on the outside. Maybe like the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs got the speed, Worthy, Thornton on one side. You put Diggs on the other side. That's a reliable outside
But
receiver.
they have tried those kind and swung and missed
But
on them.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
But
Hollywood.
they can do That's why they try him, because they're
Yeah.
a veteran team. They know we coming for one season. If you can help us, it's cool. If you can't help us, we ain't gonna miss a beat. You know what I'm saying? He can't really bring the morale down of a team like the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So I think he can help them, man. Rice, Kelsey work the middle. You got a reliable outside guy. And then you got the speed on the other side. I think he'll crank the Chiefs up. A team like the Ravens, I think he'll crank them up. He'll help Zay. Andrews work that middle. Now you give Lamar somebody reliable. Bateman, man, he's just not that reliable to me.
No,
Been there 5-6 years.
Agreed.
You ain't touched 800 yards yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We don't worry about you out there. I feel like Stefon Diggs, now you're going to have to worry about him. It'll open some more shit up. And then he going to get a bunch of one-on-ones with that run game.
Yeah.
You're going to have to load that box with that run game. He going to have a bunch of one-on-ones. You can rely on him. You know what I'm saying? So I think it got to be a more veteran team, a veteran presence where it's kind of controlled. You know what I'm saying? A younger team, they shouldn't mess with him. It's just going to be too much going on. He going to feel like he run the building. Get him in a nice veteran coach, veteran quarterback type of situation. He'll do his shit there.
I think it'd definitely be smart for a team to sign Stefon. You know, the worst thing that can happen to someone is being accused of something you didn't do, right? And then you get the attention that comes with it, and you may get punished for even the accusations, and that happens a lot of times in the NFL. But you know, 85 receptions, 1,000 yards, man, four TDs. So he definitely was productive. He'll be productive this year. He helped Drake May get comfortable in a lot of areas last year, and you know, was an outlet for him. But I agree with Skip as far as a younger quarterback, a younger team. I also had the Commanders as a great spot to partner up with Scary Terry. I think the Titans is another great spot for him, right? You got a young quarterback in Ward who has a commanding presence. He almost acts like a veteran. And then you get him right back with Dayball, who he was with in Buffalo, where he had his most success. So, and then you have Calvin Ridley on the outside who can take the top off of offense. You bring Stefon in, he can work the middle, be intermediate, and be the hands and the glue for your receiving core. But I definitely think a team that needs a veteran receivers, some leadership, some security for their quarterback, their young quarterback. Now, if I was to send him to a veteran team, man, and I know this may not be the best city for him because all the lights and shit, but LA, man, as a number 3, right? Devontae, he had his hamstring injury last year. You can pair him up with Puka either as a third or as a second. They got enough media with
Puka right now.
Right? But, you know, on the field, right, Puka in rehab. So, you know, but still, I think that'll be, you know, a great pair up, like Lee said, with a veteran and Stafford. He going to come in and he going to know his role, and he going to have to shut his mouth and just play football. So, yeah, I definitely think it's worth – I wouldn't even call it a risk because, you know, there's noise, but there's no real actions in his negativity that he's bringing to a team. It's just a lot of noise and a lot of attention, right? So, for sure.
Yeah, I think it would be smart to sign Stefon Diggs. I know he's 32 years old. He's going into year 12, but he showed last year that he can still produce at a high level. And he's been consistent throughout his career. You guys mentioned him being on 4 different teams, but everywhere he goes, he produces. He's had 1,000 yards receiving 7 of the last 8 years, and it would be 8 for 8 if he didn't tear his ACL with the Texans back in 2024. So I could see him going somewhere and adding depth and talent to an already established wide receiver room, or going somewhere and being their number 1 option, which he did last year with the team that won the AFC and went to the Super Bowl. He's capable of doing both. But the reason that I really think a team should consider signing Stefon Diggs is because of the impact that he has on the quarterbacks he's played with, and especially the younger ones. I think him going and helping out a younger quarterback is something that he could do because he's done it before throughout his NFL career. He goes to Buffalo in 2020. Josh Allen's in his 3rd year. That's the year that Josh Allen breaks out. He has 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. Diggs led them in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, and then went on to be Josh Allen's number 1 option for the next 3 years. Last year with Drake May, he really helped him take that next step in year 2. A lot of that can be contributed to Josh McDaniels and the scheme that they ran offensively, but they don't have the success they had on offense without Stefon Diggs. He was by far Drake May's number 1 target in receptions, in yards, and in receiving yards. But overall, if you look at it too, then the next one, and if you want to take it a step back even further, if you look at the Texans in 2024 with C.J. Stroud, those first 8 games that he was healthy, C.J. Stroud, had 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. The last 9 games of the regular season without Stefon Diggs, he had 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. There were other reasons that C.J. Stroud struggled, but a big factor in that was losing Stefon Diggs. He was important to that offense. So I do think it would be smart for other teams to consider signing Stefon Diggs. You know, obviously with all this behind him now, I think he could go somewhere and really contribute and help out a young quarterback that's trying to find their way in the NFL.
Do you have any suggestions on teams?
Yeah, I like some of those teams you mentioned. I think the Titans, I know they just drafted Carnell Tate. I think that would be a smart move for them. The Commanders, Skip, was another one that I really like too. Pair him up with Terry McLaurin, give Jaden Daniels another weapon, help them take it to another level on offense. So I think those two would be something to consider. I like the Chiefs as well, maybe an established team. But there's just multiple ways that you can use Stefon Diggs, whether he's a depth guy or he comes in and be the number one for a team that needs help at wide receiver.
Yeah, I feel like when you just beat a case, you got another case in the wind right now. Like, coming in being a number one guy, that's just, the camera's in your face. Like, you need to go somewhere where you ain't the number one guy, where it's a bunch of stars and you can just go be low key and just know your role and play football. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying a veteran established team where it's star-studded already. You ain't got to come to the Titans. You go to the Titans, you're going to be the center of fucking attention. You're just going to be a camera in your face every day. You go to the Ravens, not so much. You know what I'm saying? It's stars everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
So give me your take on this. It's a sensitive subject, but how do you think GMs around the league view the fact that he's got multiple kids by multiple women? Do they care? Do they say that's a distraction?
I don't really think they care about that. Like, it's hella players with multiple kids by multiple women. Like, boy come from all different backgrounds in this league. So I just think it's more the
But some of them are also free agents.
It is. And some of them also all pros and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just more of the cases. That's what the GM's gonna be like. Is it more trouble than worth? You know what I'm saying? It's more of the shit that's on TV.
I agree.
They ain't really talking about his baby mamas on TV.
No.
They talking about the assaults and all that other kind of shit.
But they are all over the internet every day. It's like, Stefon Diggs, new baby mama. It's like I always am reading a new headline.
But the main headline you're reading says assault.
Yeah.
A case. A trial.
I think some of them gossip sites.
Yeah.
TikTok
TikTok.
Well, Cardi B, that's
there was a lot going on with
Still
Cardi
talking
B.
about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, but before the cases came out, the Cardi B situation was good. He hanging with Mr. Kraft and everything was happy-go-lucky.
It was.
This case come out, then the male sexual assault come out. Like, then it's like, it kind of went down.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, it was all good.
And that's another thing about that Super Bowl skit. But a lot of that shit came out around the Super Bowl.
It did.
Cardi B left him before the Super Bowl. So that a lot on your mind, you can't perform. So that goes into GM thinking too. Is like, you got too much on your plate.
Yeah.
See, and
clearly the Patriots in a
what's on his plate kind of tend to trickle onto his quarterback plate too. If you my number one guy, and I'm a little youngin, and I'm like, damn, he doing this, and it's kind of falling on my plate. You my right-hand man. That's why you need to just go with a vet who, you know what I'm saying, he do this shit.
But the reason I feel like I know it's bad in the locker room or something, it's caused issues because they're willing to release him. He had a great season, but they're willing to go super hard for A.J. Brown, who also's got the public in the media.
Well,
But see, he don't got no cases.
Yeah.
He don't got he's not facing no
Court.
charges.
But apparently he's not good in the locker room. What's worse? Because you see Stefon Diggs leading the team. He's in the locker room. I guess we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
They doing shit backwards because they head coaching all over shit too.
Yes. Well, they didn't know that at the time. And I think that they let Stefon go, but that just keeps getting worse. That.
If you got your charges, then they not going to.
Yeah, that courtroom is different.
That's worse than everything.
CNN in the suit, they don't want to see that.
They don't want to see that. They don't want your team name, Patriots player, and be in court. That's what they don't want. Fuck the baby mamas. Fuck the gossiping while you at home playing a game and calling the offense trash. And we could deal with all that kind of shit. What we can't deal with is that courtroom shit, having our team name at court. That's what they don't want.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see Stefon with a team in the future this year, so we will find out. But I am so beyond excited. The 49ers have hired Raheem Morris as the team's new defensive coordinator. I was shocked when the Falcons let him go last year. I know, Aqib, you played for him. You have the highest regards for this man. So This week, Morris actually discussed why he decided on the Niners, so I'm going to play that real quick.
What was it about this organization that felt right?
Didn't know all about the organization before, knew more about Kyle, knew more about Lynch. Obviously, those are guys that I've been really close to just throughout the whole process of everything, right? Having the ability to coach Lynch when I was a very young football coach, being around that culture and what it meant, and then having a chance to be a coach with Kyle and being a coach with Kyle in multiple spots, and then have an opportunity to come out here. And then you get out here and you see what everything is like, what they've done together, how they built this thing to be able to run the draft, be able to run the process, be able to run the standard of play, being around these guys. And then, really competing against these guys, you get this healthy respect of just, you love to be a part of that. When you get a chance to go be a part of teams like that, which I've been fortunate enough to do in the past, it certainly made it like an easy choice for me, with all due respect to the people that I talked to, because like everybody that I talked to that actually called me, got so much respect for those people. But, Kyle was a great opportunity to come work here at the 49ers.
It's actually cool because Raheem and Kyle have actually worked together in 3 organizations. It was Tampa, Atlanta, and Washington. So seeing them back together is going to be so amazing. But TJ, Raheem Morris as the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, can you see him help the Niners win it all this year?
Man, Raheem, may not be the best head coach, but he's definitely one of the best defense coordinators in this league. So he's more than adequate to lead the Niners to a championship defense and to a championship on the defensive side of the ball. But my overall answer, I'm going to say, is no. And that's just for the reason that the Niners are always in trouble during the season. That's because of injuries. He's coming into an older, injured defense. And we know in this league, health is wealth. And the Niners, they just have not been wealthy in that category, right? They had 260 total games missed across their entire roster, and 8 defensive players last year were put on IR. Like, that's almost an entire defense, or miss, adequate time, right? So you got to be on the field. You got to have your best players on the field. And we're going to start with Joey Bosa, man. He tore his ACL last year, only played 3 games. Your next bet, huh?
Nick?
Oh, I said, Nick Bosa. My bad. Fred Warner, your other best player on the team, he only played 6 games with a fractured, dislocated ankle. We know how hard it is coming back the next year from a major injury like that, right? Not only physically, but mentally. Are you going to be the same player? They first-round draft pick, Michael Williams, he only played 9 games. He's supposed to, you count on him as your first-round pick to come in and change your defense, right? Dre Greenlaw, he's coming back from Denver. Only played 8 games last year. That was the reason he's not in Denver right now, because he couldn't stay healthy, right? So even the guy, Tatum Bethune, who came to replace Fred Warner, he got hurt in the critical time of the season, was out, put him on IR towards the end of the year. So they were butt naked on defense last year, and it seems to be the same story every year with the Niners. These injuries are killing them. Now, it's rumored that it's that plant over there. And I'm going to have to go with it, because there's no way in this world that you have these major injuries year in and year out. Kittle, he just tore his Achilles, your other best player, right? Like, this is something they cannot get past. They have some of the best coaching and some of the best players, and they still find ways to get it done. They went 12-5 last year, but at the end of the day, you cannot continue to have these major injuries on your team and think you're going to win a championship. It's not going to happen. So for that reason, I'm going to say no to the Niners winning a championship anytime soon until they get up out of Santa Clara and go back to Frisco.
I feel that. Rod is an established coach in the league. The players going to respect him, man. His energy day in, day out going to be so contagious. He going to have this shit upbeat. Guys gonna be ready to learn, ready to practice, man. He gonna put his players in positions to succeed. Like, he's just not a coordinator who's gonna call his shit and let anybody do just what he say do. He's gonna find shit that work for the guys on the field, and that's how he gonna call a game. So I know players always love that. But as a defensive coordinator, like, your job, of course, is to call the plays. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to teach the coaches the defense so they could teach it to the players. But I think a hidden trait, and it's probably one of his best attributes as a coach, is Rod gonna make you know how the offense is trying to attack you. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. When I played for him, he always had premium ops. He made sure
he was DB. coach,
He was
right?
my DB
Okay.
coach,
All right.
or young too. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So he always made sure that we knew how teams wanted to attack us on first down, second down, third down, red zone. Like
That's big.
all defensive coordinators don't do that, man.
The
I feel like
wise, for sure.
a lot of them don't do that. I feel like Joe Woods for us did a great job of that. We knew how teams wanted to attack us. Then I could name some other coordinators who wasn't so good at that. They just kind of taught their defense and what we want to do in these situations, and it was more just about what we did, not so much about what the offense did. But I feel
Wade,
like
what was Wade like that way?
Wade was great at it. Wade was fucking amazing at relaying the message to our position coaches. And I don't know, I honestly don't know if it was Wade or Joe, but Joe Woods was our corner coach, and we knew exactly how teams was trying to attack us. So that made us understand why he was going to call what he was going to call. We knew what they wanted to do on third down shit. We calling it on the sideline. We running this right, they finna do this. We run, like, you know what I'm saying?
Another thing is, why are we running this defense?
Exactly. So we understand why we running this defense, because we understand what the offense is trying to do. I feel like that's something major that Rod does that a lot of DCs don't do, man. And we know the Niners got the players. Shit, we seen damn near their whole fucking depth chart play last year. We seen every guy on the depth chart play. You know what I'm saying? So we know they got the guys, and that bring up TJ point, man. It's injuries is what hinders this team. I don't think it was
The bad luck is over, okay?
Robert Saleh wasn't a bad D coordinator, right? He was damn good.
And that's why they went as far as they did with their third string.
So I don't think Rod do a bad job. I think he'd come in and do just the same job as Robert Saleh, or a better job than Robert Saleh, but that wasn't the problem. The injuries is the problem.
Yeah.
So I got to agree with Bub. I don't think getting Rod get you over the hump, because that's not the issue. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's motherfucking ligaments. You got your ligaments feeling like what that scientist said? Old stretched out rubber bands. That's what he told us.
Yeah, but when the Niners are healthy, they go to the Super Bowl.
That's
they
the whole
compete
point.
every
That's-
year.
that-
I'm saying
are.
Did a whole
they don't
study
have
and found
injuries
the
every
Super
single season. That's what I'm
But
saying.
when they healthy, they are in the
They
Super Bowl.
yes.
They are in NFC.
Every year they got.
That's telling me that the
Year before it was
coordinators, the coordinators are not the problem. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
they
saying?
didn't
Offensive
fire
coordinator-
Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh left for a head coaching.
I ain't say he got fired. That's my whole point. Is the coordinators are not the problem. It's not like we had a terrible defense and that's why we didn't get over the hump. Now we brought Ryan. Then I would say, yeah, Ryan gonna come in. Shit, that's a good coordinator. He'll get him over the hump.
Yeah.
But the coordinators are not the problem. The problem is these damn ligaments that feel like old hot rubber bands.
So if they stay, hypothetically,
You know what
if they
I'm saying?
stay healthy, you
If they
you
stay
then would
healthy,
be able to help
man,
them.
they one of the best teams in the fucking
Okay.
in the NFL. But that's the problem. They just not being healthy. So I got to go above and say, nah, man.
I'm opposite. I think he will help them get over the hump. When you lose a coordinator to a head coaching job, it can be extremely difficult to replace him, especially one that's as good as Robert Saleh. But the 49ers did a great job of getting ahead of that and hiring Raheem Morris to come in and be their defensive coordinator. And they were fortunate that he was available. I know it didn't work out for him in Atlanta, but I'm excited to see what he does as a defensive coordinator again. But the reason I love this move is for a couple reasons. The first is he's a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams back in 2021. So he knows what it takes to get a ring. He knows what it's supposed to look like. He can use that experience in San Fran, and he can share that knowledge with the defensive guys on the roster. The other reason I like it is because of what Aqib said, man. He seems like the definition of a player's coach. He's a guy that you want to come to work every day and get better because of the type of coach that he is, and he's going to help you reach another level. That's important in the NFL. Because when you're going to play for a guy that you don't believe in and you don't trust, that trickles over to the field. Raheem Morris is not that type of coach. But the third reason that I love it, and the main reason that I really love it, is because his familiarity with the NFC West and the offenses that are in this division. If you look at it, he has experience with all these other coaches at some point in his career. Seattle has Clint Kubiak. Obviously, he left. Now they bring in Brian Fleury, who was with San Francisco for 7 seasons, and he runs a Shanahan scheme. Mike LaFleur is now the head coach of the Cardinals. He runs the McVay-Shanahan scheme, and he was the offensive coordinator for the Rams the last 3 seasons. And then obviously Sean McVay has really elevated this scheme and made it his own since he's been with the Rams. But Raheem Morris coached in LA for 3 seasons, from 2021 to 2023. He spent every day with Sean McVay. He knows how he calls plays. He knows how he game plans. He knows his tendencies, good or bad. Mike LaFleur was also there in 2023. So he went against LaFleur at practices, whether it was fall camp, OTAs, and then, of course, he coached against Shanahan during that time while Fleury was on their staff. So he has a lot of experience going against these type of offenses. All 4 of them run the same exact scheme in this division. I think bringing in Raheem Morris is going to help them, be able to stop all these different offensive coaches in this division.
I mean, I get all that, but can he coach them out of injuries?
Yeah, but so those are hypotheticals, though. We see it every year.
They hurt right now.
They are hurt right now, but at the same time, like, you can't just bank on them being hurt every season. We've seen years where they've been healthy and made it all the way to the Super Bowl. And
that was 5 years ago.
I know, but the substation, they've been next to it since 1988. They've been to the Super Bowl 4 times.
No, they have not been there since 1988. They just got there in 2000.
They've always practiced next to the substation. They moved to Levi where they played their games.
I know last year they had a lot of injuries, but the other side of that argument is Christian McCaffrey gets more touches than anybody in the NFL, and he's healthy, and he didn't have any injuries this past season. I don't think
got an oxygen mask or something. He breathing different oxygen.
So let's let everybody breathe.
And we were just in the Super Bowl in 2020 and 2024. We were just in the Super Bowl.
To your point, you saying he know the division.
Yeah.
Shit, they didn't do bad in the division last year. They beat the Rams. They beat the Seahawks.
Yeah,
they swept the Cardinals.
Okay, but
they're doing pretty good in the division already.
The Rams have beat them 4 of the last 5 games. They've struggled stopping that offense. That's something that they want to continue to get better at, and that's why But that's what I'm saying. That's why Robert Saleh.
They split with the Rams last year.
Robert Saleh did a great job while he was there.
That's what I'm saying.
My biggest thing was the question is he going to help them get over the hump? He's going to be able to keep up that same level of defense because when you lose a coordinator, it's tough to replace that guy.
But that same level of defense ain't getting them over the hump.
If they're healthy and they can.
That's the whole. There you go. Right there.
But my point.
There you go.
But that's everybody in football.
But no, it's not. Those are
no, those are
teams who is healthy. It's teams who is healthy. They just trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Niners healthy. They are a top-notch team when they healthy. That's just the problem.
So but
they healthy. They Super Bowl, like you said.
Exactly.
Well, we can't plan on them just being injured again next year. Every year is different. The teams that are the most healthy are the teams that
they've been more consistently healthy than other teams. Consistently unhealthy than the Seahawks.
Man, no, last year was a one-off. That was a
one-off.
I mean, with how many star players got hurt that season.
That was crazy, but yeah, then Christian McCaffrey was hurt the year before.
before.
It has
Every
been the
year.
past couple years.
Brandon Ayuk, out.
Well, Brandon Ayuk didn't
Okay,
show up.
but
then he was
Because
injured.
he was hurt, and then he didn't show
That's
up.
probably why he stopped showing up. Motherfucker got
wanna
depressed
go
from
next
being
to the
injured.
facility?
Shit. Not breathing in that air no more.
I'm just
The left tackle Williams, big dog, was hurt.
Hamstring.
Skip, can you
Dry rubber band.
give me a better perspective, please? I'm
can.
tired of them.
That scientist was kicking that shit when he came over here.
Wait a minute. Time out. Didn't the 49ers go 12-5 last
Yes,
year
yep.
and pull off the upset of the playoffs,
In the playoffs.
at Philadelphia?
At Philly.
Yeah.
And Philly was mad at me.
Beat all to hell. They went 12-5.
Yeah.
That's the point, though, Skip.
If they not beat all the hell, they beat.
So let's just be a little
defensive
beat,
coordinator
not
the
beat all
problem.
the hell. And we'll win the Super Bowl.
Okay, and
DC wasn't the problem
just,
in that.
just for the record, John Lynch did say, 2-3 weeks ago, we did deep dive research on the substation,
They
and
did.
we found no evidence that it caused
I
anything.
don't believe it.
But of course they're going to say
Man,
I don't believe it. We got
That's
too
like
much
taking a
invested right here.
lawsuit.
We can't go nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
Hey, you see that lease? We ain't going nowhere.
Okay, now back to a guy you know really well, Raheem. I don't know him at all. I know him from a distance, and I really like his style. I like to listen to him speak. I like to watch him coach. I like his energy. And you made reference to this. I'm not saying he was a bad or is a bad head coach, but he was born to coordinate a defense and inspire a defense because he's a people person. And I think if you give him a relatively healthy 49er defense, and remember, their draft that they just finished, all the mocks said they overdrafted every single player they picked, and it was 8 players between round 2 and round 5. Mm-hmm. Just watch what's about to happen. There were 4 of those are defensive players. Watch 2 of them will be starters next year, and they'll thrive. And you'll say, oh, look at that kid. You know, he wasn't overdrafted, was he? And I just think Raheem is right guy, right place, right time. And he did coordinate that Rams defense that won it all. And I look back at his head coaching record, and you know this better than anybody. He had 1 winning season because Josh Freeman was right that year for whatever.
And our defense was balling too.
And it was balling. And you go 10-6 and miss the playoffs. Mm-hmm. and that was kind of the beginning of the end of Josh Freeman. But you had that one great. It was by your standards at that time. Weren't you like 3-13 or your first year? And then to go 10-6, that was.
No, our first year we was solid. We was 9-3 at the start of December.
Okay.
And then we lost 4 straight in December and didn't go to the playoffs.
But then the next year was no good, right?
The next year was bad. Then I think the following year was the 10-6.
The 10-6. Okay. And yet I just like the fit. I like it better than Saleh. I just do. I think you know him. I just think he's really good at this. Some guys are just born to do this, and he's tight with Kyle, and he loves Lynch, and they love him, and so it's a good vibe. It's just good. It's good leadership energy that franchise has, and they didn't get enough credit for going 12-5 last year. That's about Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. That's what that's about, because we took your kid D. Winters, like third string, and he played down the stretch for you and played really well against then the 2 Seattle games. And we traded for him, and he'll probably start for us and be the green dot player. He's got that kind of potential, but he's third string on your team and expendable for you guys. Okay, so I just like where you're headed. Your problem beyond injuries are Seattle and Los Angeles Rams. Those are your problems.
Yeah, our division.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
It's just ridiculous. And Arizona's probably going to get better and better quicker.
They definitely going to get
It's going to be a tough challenge for them.
I think Raheem and Robert Saleh,
Similar.
they super similar, bro. They both is Kyle Shanahan guys. He was there. He left. He came back.
Yeah.
That's why they
But
brought him
Robert
back,
Saleh
because they
left
love him.
and
You
we
know
were
what I'm
really
saying?
sad. And
they
now-
both are. I don't think they really that successful as head coaches, but they both damn good as D coordinators.
That is true.
They high energy. They very similar, man.
Yeah,
so
they are. Yeah.
D coordinator is not the problem in San Fran.
But
that's,
there's just
that's
no
the only
way
reason
that we're
I'm
going to have
saying
the
no.
injuries that we had last year. So if we went 12-5 and
I
we had
agree.
half the injuries we had last year,
That's the whole point, Ken.
Man, I just don't think
that's
it
not saying
happens
if we
like-
went 12-5 and we had a better D coordinator, then my answer would be hell yeah, Rod gonna get you over the top. But
It ain't
the
the
D
scheme,
coordinator
it ain't the
is
coordinator.
not.
Okay,
the
real
issue.
quick about Saleh and Raheem. So I can't get out of my mind Hard Knocks with the Jets, Saleh's years the head coach. And I'm watching the whole thing, and he spewed a lot of phony baloney in those player meetings. It didn't ring true to me. It'd be one of those, if I'm out in the audience as a player,
Yeah, he
I'm
was
looking
faking the
sideways
phone shit.
like, really?
Yeah,
This
he's
guy?
faking the phone.
Raheem, legit, real, true. I mean, you know him better. I'm just going from a distance, but when he speaks, I believe him. And I don't think there's a lot of phony baloney to Raheem Morris. That's just me. So
Yeah.
No, it's not. He definitely gonna hold your attention when he in front of the room. But as a D coordinator, I could care less. You ain't gonna be in front of the room as much.
Nope.
You gonna get you occasional. The D coordinator gonna get up there, and that's head coach shit. What you talking about?
I am, yeah.
As a D coordinator, Robert Saleh do his shit. You know what I'm saying? He had the San Fran nice. Then he went to the Jets. He had them nice. Then he came back to San Fran. He got them nice with all backups, and he's not a bad D coordinator. So
no.
that's just my whole point. It's not a D coordinator issue in San Fran.
Okay,
yeah,
but you
it's not a
don't-
leadership issue.
But I'm not saying it was, but the question was, can he help them win it all? I believe that Raheem Morris, to your point, with a healthy defensive roster, sure, can help them win it all.
I believe he
This was
can,
a great
too.
hire.
Okay, but I know you, and you have some reservation about this. You're not gung-ho about Raheem in San Francisco.
I love Ryan Sanford. I know Rod gonna do his shit, bro. He's one of the best coaches I ever played for. He's gonna do his job. That defense gonna be good. They 2-3 deep at every position because everybody played last year. Experience is second to none.
It is.
And they got all them guys got a little taste of the game last year. So
They did.
Rod gonna do his shit. That's not the issue in San Fran. That's all I'm saying. That's not the issue. They better handle what the issue. If you want to get over the hump, handle the issue. Fix the problem. That's the problem.
How do you fix
Yeah,
that
what would
issue?
you
I
do
mean,
to
you
fix
can't,
this
you can't
problem?
prevent. Not every injury is preventable.
You gonna move them?
Hey, man. Hey.
I would do. Hey, look.
You
if it's
picking up,
even-
packing your
rubber
bags?
band.
if it's an inclination that I'm living in my house and it might be mold, and we ran a
And my
test
son's
and
sick.
it ain't no mold.
Skip
But my son's
I'm
still coughing.
I'm taking
I'm
that
outta
L.
there. I'm gone.
taking that L. I'm
You
gone.
just said they did a full
did.
But my
research
son's
on it.
still
and there was
coughing.
no correlation.
My son's still coughing. I'm out of there.
What about the research that this scientist did who came on our show and said
I wasn't there
said
that
they
day.
got
A
hot
lot of
rubber
people
bands for licking.
are debunking his credibility. I'm just
Man,
saying.
listen, man. I don't know how. Hey, that's abnormal. Is that shit not abnormal in San Fran? Even like before last
But that
year.
happens. There's
But
times-
even before last
It
year, bro,
happens.
you just look like, damn, he hurt. Like, damn, it was something. Ever since
Listen,
they moved there,
In my best world too, we pack up and move, of course.
But you
is
know what
that
another issue is they got a
realistic?
lot of
We're
star
years old.
players.
yeah,
So
you
when
better
someone
figure
gets
it
hurt,
out. Billionaire.
it's a bigger
If like
story.
you say, we on the verge, on the fringe of being in a championship every year, at some point, that investment to stay there that you put in that property ain't worth it. The health of my kids is not worth the dollar. I'm out because I'm gonna make more money moving somewhere, staying healthy, and getting them chips.
Hey, I'm in full support. Obviously, I want them boys
If
healthy.
the facts and the numbers say since we got here, our injuries have skyrocketed, come on, bro. What? It's take the L.
But that's
I'm a
what's been-
billionaire. Take the L.
All right. Well, we all agree, I think. But they're going to stay healthy this year. I'm staying positive. Let's now get into what we just talked about. Is that our division is really the problem? Okay. So ESPN posted the post NFL draft power
issue
ranking.
for sure.
This week, at number 1 was the Seattle Seahawks, followed by the Los Angeles Rams at number 2. Underdog taking a look at the Super Bowl odds. I'm going to go place these up here. LA Rams, 14% to win the Super Bowl.
4-2
Seahawks,
in the division.
10% to win the Super Bowl. But look at those Niners. You see them at 5?
The Niners was 4-2 in this division last year.
I know.
We clear about that, right? They was 4-2 in this division. You know what I'm saying?
But this division is very difficult. Cody, who should be considered the best team in the NFL, the Rams or the Seahawks?
I have the Seahawks. I
oh,
think
surprise!
Seattle,
Surprise!
hey, no bullshit. That's like saying the same thing.
Surprise!
when
Tony
we're
got the
talking about
Seahawks.
Denver. Hey, shocker. It's the same shit when they talk about Denver. Skip. I don't know if we'll get there, but no, man, I like what Seattle's doing, man. The Seahawks are building something special right now, and that starts at the top with their leader and head coach, Mike McDonald, man. He's been there the last 2 years, and what he's been able to accomplish has been very impressive. He's won 27 games. He's 15-2 on the road right now. He won the NFC West going up against the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan as well as Sean McVay. And he wins a Super Bowl in his second season, one of the youngest ever in NFL history. And I know you guys talk about how hard it is to repeat. And once you win a Super Bowl, you get that target on your back and everybody's gunning for you. But the way that Mike McDonald is, I think he's going to embrace that. And he's going to have his guys ready to go. And I don't think there will be a drop-off going into this season. I think they're going to play even better this year. And then you look at their roster too, man, offensively. They've got some really good talent there. They got JSN, who was arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL last year. You've got Cooper Kupp, who's proven to be a solid number 2. You got A.J. Barner at tight end. You got Rashid Shaheed, who they just re-signed. I love that, the element that he adds to their offense with the vertical passing game. And I know they lost Kenneth Walker, but don't sleep on Jadarian Price.
Please
I know
don't.
he got overshadowed because of Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, but I promise you, go put his tape on. He has great vision, great speed, and he's a very smooth runner out of the backfield. I think he's going to do some really good things this year in Seattle. And then, of course, at quarterback, they have Sam Darnold. And we watched him last year in real time elevate his game and become a different player. We saw him get confidence against the Rams when they beat him to help them stay in first place in the division. And then we saw him in the NFC Championship game throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns and go head-to-head with Matthew Stafford. I think he's going to carry that confidence over into next year. Now, the biggest concern with their offense and what was a significant loss was losing Clint Kubiak. I'm not going to downplay the effects of that, but they did bring in Brian Flores, who I really like. And I think Mike McDonald made a smart move there because Brian Flores has spent the last 7 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers learning under Kyle Shanahan. He also had some crossover with Clint Kubiak. They were there together for a season. So he's going to be able to come over and run a very similar type of scheme so they can pick up where they left off last year and have some familiarity with that scheme. I think that's going to be important for them. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they return a lot of key pieces from that dark side defense who had a historic year last season. You got Leonard Williams, you got DeMarcus Lawrence. Riley Mills is a good young player up front. You got Uchenna Nwosu, who I played with, Hall, who had some big plays in the Super Bowl. You bring back that key piece in the middle, and Ernest Jones had 126 tackles last year and 5 interceptions. He's only going to continue to get better in this scheme. And then in the secondary, I know they lost Tariq Woolen, and there's some concern there, but they still have one of the best overall secondaries in the NFL with Witherspoon, with Job, who they re-signed, with Love at safety, and then my favorite player on that defense, Nick Emanwari, man. He's so good. You can put him in multiple different places. Mike McDonald does a great job of using him as a nickel, using him as a safety, letting him play down in the box, doing all these different things and putting his guys in a position to be successful. So I like what the Rams are doing. There's going to be a lot of good teams this year, but as of right now, the Seattle Seahawks are my number one team still.
I get it. They the champs. How can you not have them as the number one? I mean, I don't know. Usually the champs
stay the champ.
They gotta stay the champ. You gotta knock them off. So, but hey, man, I like the list. I think the Rams had the better offseason. I think they played Seattle super tight last year. They lost 2 games to them by a total of 4 points. So they hole that they had in their defense was corners. I think they addressed that issue. They went out and bought 2 corners. You know what I'm saying? So they addressed what was making them lose. They went out and addressed that. You know what I'm saying? I think they had a better offseason. They didn't lose much, and they fixed the hole in their defense. As in Seattle, I don't really like their offseason. I don't really like what they did. First of all, you lose your Super Bowl MVP. I feel like that's a major piece. You lose, to me, I watched the mic'd up, and all your Super Bowl, you watch everybody mic'd up. Kobe Bryant was the leader of that secondary to me. They lost him. He in Chicago. To me, if you watch him, he is the vocal guy. He just seemed like the leader. Do he not, bud?
Nah,
he seemed like the QB back there. You lose him, that's big to me. You lose Tariq Woolen, that's big to me. You lose Mafe, that's big to me. This edge rushers and corners, them important parts of the defense. You lose them, that's big to me. And then you said it, on top of that, you lose your OC. So I can see them. I can see why they bringing them down a little bit. The Rams address their needs. You put them up a little bit. If I made a list, I might have it like this too. I might have the Rams as a number one, slightly ahead. My shit would probably be 12%, 14 to 13% or something like that. I may have them slightly ahead, but just due to the offseason.
I mean, but you said yourself you didn't like the way that the Rams drafted this year.
Yeah, but you could draft like that when you don't need shit.
Okay.
We handled our business in free agency.
And I agree
with that. We don't need shit else, for real. We could have used something else. I didn't like how they draft, but I love what they did in free agency, though.
I mean, I like what they did in free agency, but the champs is the champs. And I really love what the Seahawks did in the draft and free agency, right? You talk about the edge rusher. They did lose Mafe, but they brought in Dante Fowler, who has great experience. He's going to add depth to that. And they retained damn near their entire team.
Exactly.
Not even offense, not even defense. Almost the entire team, right? You lose Kobe Bryant, you lose Tariq Woolen, but you go and you draft, right? You go get a 3rd round cornerback. You go get a 2nd round safety that, are Julian Love out of Arkansas, and then you got Bud.
I'm
talking about the draft picks they had. I'm sorry, let me. I can't see shit, man. I'm blind as hell. Julian Neal, I'm sorry. Julian Neal, 3rd round corner. He's straight from San Francisco. Gotcha. Then you got 2nd round safety, Bud Clark. Those are 2 valuable additions that you're going to add to the secondary. Don't forget, Tariq Woolen's best year was his rookie year. So to say that a rookie can't come in and add value and be a high quality player in and around a championship defense, I don't see how the Rams are above the Seahawks being that, right? You keep Julian Love, you got Emin Ward staying there, you got Leonard Williams coming back, you got Jones coming back. And then offensively, you look at the offense, you could arguably it's the most explosive offense in the division.
When you lose the Super Bowl MVP?
Even because what he just stated about the young running back out of Notre Dame.
Bro ain't even started at Notre Dame.
Price. He would have been the number 1 back, both of those guys.
Anywhere else in the country.
Bro, he ain't even started his college. So
doesn't matter. When you have a quality back, when you have 2 quality backs that understand the value of each other at Notre Dame, and they could both go somewhere. They were offered millions of dollars at other schools. They both decided to stay at Notre Dame because why? As a running back, what don't you want to do coming out of college? Is put a lot of tread on your tires before you get to the NFL.
Right.
And if I'm already going to be a 1st round pick and I know that, then why do I need to take every carry in college? And what I also like about him is he returns punts. He's dangerous on special teams and kick return and punt return. He's strong. He's elusive. He's fast, right? He breaks tackles. Like, you put him, and I'm not saying he's better than Kenneth Walker right now.
He's not.
But when you look at that, when you put that college tape on, his college tape looks better than Kenneth Walker's did at Michigan State. And I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. So you put him in there, bro, and they not missing any type of stride. And I think just the Seahawks returning all those players, replacing players in the right positions, it earns them the number 1 spot. And then Los Angeles Rams, you look at Puka in rehab, and for me, their biggest issue was they linebackers, right? You got two main receivers, Puka, right? You got Devontae Adams hamstring coming off of a hamstring, right? Then you go look at the corners. They did do a good job replacing their corners, but they linebackers was giving up 111.
They had them same linebackers last year,
and that's what they got their ass killed with. Kenneth Walker had 135 yards in 2 games.
Who did?
Kenneth Walker.
All right.
And Price catch out the backfield and do the exact same thing. So that's what I'm saying. When you replacing this guy, he wasn't the season MVP. He was a Super Bowl MVP.
He was
one good game.
From the time he took over as the number 1 back, and they stopped doing it so they don't put too much trade.
But it wasn't like he had 100 yards rushing. It was a very balanced running game and passing game from Kenneth Walker. He had 60 yards rushing, 40 yards receiving. 70 yards.
They had
rushing.
a 1-2 punch with him and Zach Charbonnet.
But that's what I'm saying. From the time Charbonnet got hurt, Kenneth Walker was clearly the top dog in the league, bro. His running style is
cold.
Come on,
but
now.
I think Price brings, and he ain't got to do everything, but I think he will be right there as a quality back for the Seattle Seahawks.
By the way, you mentioned Dante Fowler. I think he played for the Cowboys last year, but I couldn't tell because I never saw him make a single
Dante,
play.
my guy, man.
Yeah, me too, man. I played with him.
He ain't no Mafe.
Huh? Mafe.
He ain't Mafe.
And by the way, Cody, are you sure Sam Darnold's going to win that job this year in camp? I'm not sure. I don't even know who the backup is.
Come on.
I'm like, who is he competing against?
Come on now.
I don't even know who it is.
Oh, it's us, buddy. I know who it is.
You talking about Jalen Milroe?
Nah, him too. But
Him too. So I got edge Rams just because you talked about it from day one last year. They had 2 glaring holes at corner, and they went and got both the Kansas City corners, and they're really good players. And it fixes what was broken. It changes everything on that defense because it starts with you got to be able to trust those 2, and you can. And you mentioned Clint Kubiak. I just think he's really good at what he does, and I think we're about to see that in action in Las Vegas.
Agreed.
And I don't know enough about Fleury. He's been around for a long time, and I know he's the run game coordinator for you guys in San Francisco. There is some drop-off happening there because that voice in Sam's ear is going to be real different this time because Clint Kubiak is, these guys know because you came from that Kubiak line, you know what it was, what the father was, and the son's just really good at what he does. And I think he's a gifted young coach who did really good things with Sam Darnold last year. Put him in I know he had a good year in Minnesota too, but I think he put him in a comfort zone that really allowed Sam to thrive at the very highest level. And I think they're going to miss that. And you've mentioned all the players that they lost. And they've lost a touch and the Rams have gained a touch. Do I wish that they hadn't picked Ty Simpson at 13? That'd be Makai Lemon or somebody who could help? Yeah, I do. One of the tackles, Monroe Freeling or somebody that you could plug in. Maybe Ty Simpson can play special teams. I don't know. Help there, but I doubt it.
Gunner.
Yeah, maybe he could.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So, but again, the Rams won that offseason, won the division offseason. They just did. And those were 2 gutsy, ballsy, smart plunges where you just go boom, boom. And it sends the right message to the locker room like, oh, our people upstairs, they just said there and there. We fixed it. And here we go. So I like the Rams.
Okay. Something that's standing out on this list to me here is that the Buffalo Bills have a higher percent of Super Bowl winning than the Broncos. So I would love, we've talked about my team, we talked about your team, we talked about your Seattle Seahawks. We got to talk about the Denver Broncos. How do you feel about this?
I can't understand it.
Shocker.
I can't understand it. It should be a shocker. Like if we played them, we beat them in the divisional round, right?
Yeah, you did.
Barely.
Barely. We barely beat them in the divisional round, but we beat them, right? And then shit.
A win's a win.
We bring back like a legit 21 starters. Like we bring back a legit 21 starters, then we add an explosive receiver on the outside. I mean, shit. We a top defense. Everybody come back on defense.
Everybody.
Like, I don't really get it. Then you look at Buffalo, they bring in who the wild out they bring in?
DJ Moore?
DJ. They bring in DJ, be their number one receiver.
Which he will be.
They lose their head coach. So we don't really know. We gonna see how much Sean McDermott did for this team.
Yeah.
We gonna see this year. Because
Definitely.
they hired their OC, they hired within. So
Yeah.
how can you just put them up there like that? Is
I
Josh
was
Allen
shocked
that
to see
good?
the Bills that
in the
high.
biggest game of his life, he turned the ball over 5 times
He did.
and got outplayed by Bo Nix. So I can't understand
Well, if I gave you a choice right now going forward for the next 5 years, Josh Allen or Bo Nix, you'd take Bo Nix?
I'm taking Bo Nix.
I don't believe you.
Why wouldn't I?
I just don't
That's
believe
wild.
Why wouldn't I though?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
Hey.
Why not?
You would take
Yeah,
them
absolutely,
too?
you damn straight. I'm taking Bush. You know what? He may not win games
That's
in a dramatic
unbiased.
fashion as Josh Allen, but he sure don't lose them either. Quality quarterback, do everything the coach asked him to do, efficient, get out of trouble with his legs. You know why our O-line, outside the quality, and I'll bring that back, we returning all 5 offensive linemen that
Exactly.
played together
Everybody.
3
Well,
years
what
in a
if Josh
row.
Allen had your offensive line and your defense?
But what if the
It's
fifth
just-
we'd all be drunk? What if Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over in crucial times?
Exactly.
Let's
Because
not
he has
blame it
to
on
do
everybody else.
everything for the
With Josh,
entire
when it
team.
comes to Josh Allen, everybody like to blame all the other sources of the team of why Josh Allen fumbled the ball or why Josh Allen threw an interception. It's Josh Allen. That's why.
That's why you
That's
the
what he
leader.
does.
He's also going to make plays to keep you in the game as
Right.
well.
won
And
a
Bo
Super
is
Bowl.
too.
Agreed.
We seen
I'm
Bo
not
do that
disagreeing,
too.
but-
And we're not saying Bo's a bad quarterback.
No.
It's just Josh Allen has to
Well,
be
if
Superman
Bo
for his
was
team.
asked to do as much as Josh Allen was asked to do, maybe you see flashes of that Bo Nix on offense. but
Was
he's
Bo
not
Nix
asked
not
to do.
Superman for the Broncos in that divisional
Did you see
game?
that
Well,
Green Bay
He
Packer
was
game?
fucking Superman.
Green
Yeah.
Bay
You
game.
You know what I'm saying?
was
Green Bay,
good.
was he not Superman?
And he was very clutch in the fourth
Exactly.
quarter all
No
season
So,
long.
I mean, come on now.
right.
I'm going with that, man. I give me the guy who
Yeah,
win
we
games.
had the most explosive
me
receiver,
that.
one of the most explosive receivers in the league. Whole defense coming back. You know, I actually like what the Bills did with the draft and free agency. They tried to bring in some, quality free agents: Bradley Chubb, Gardner CJ, Geno Stone. But
That's
they're
probably the
not
best move they
They're
made
not even
the whole
comparable to
offseason.
our
CJ
defensive
Gardner
players,
Johnson.
right?
CJ Gardner
We got an
totally agree.
All-Pro at safety. We got a Defensive Player of the Year at corner. We got 2 Pro Bowl edge
top
rusher.
dual
We
rush.
got another quality starter in Riley. Like we're set, right? We got 2 returning inside linebackers, right? Everything is there. Our free safety is coming back, who was hurt half the season last year. So our whole number 1, number 2 defense is coming back. Now you look at the offensive side, we get Coleman, the young running back from Washington. We got J.K. Dobbins coming back. You got R.J. Harvey coming back. That's a 3-headed running back, 10 whatever trio right there, right? Then you got Sutton coming back, right? Waddle take it off top, Sutton, and then McClellan on defense in the nickel. It's like we got everything coming back from a team that beat them. They got a new coach,
Right.
and a bunch of new pieces. They're 2 stalwarts on defense the last few years. Teron Johnson and Milano both gone. So
Exactly.
like, what are we even talking
Like,
about?
we got a Super Bowl winning coach. We got a defensive coordinator who's a hot commodity to be a head coach. Like, you go down the list from coaching to everything. You might say, give them quarterback. Okay, let's get them quarterback. Every other position, every other thing in the organization
you're
from
gonna-
our GM
No.
is better than Buffalo.
Running back? James Cook was what led.
All right, give him that. Give him that. We give him quarterback.
But I'm gonna lie, when J.K. was healthy before he got hurt, his ass was cooking.
You're gonna
I
get
would
tight
have put
ends?
J.K.
We got a new tight end.
Yeah, I'm
We
gonna
got
get Evan Ingram
No.
better than
Hell
all
yeah,
that.
we got
Over
Johnny
Knox-
too.
over Knox and Kincaid.
Bro, they are not
Hell
that
yeah.
good. Why you keep getting
Stop it. Now you
They
guys are
good. They good because Josh Allen run around and they get to run around and find a way to be open. And he found to get open.
No, man, I watched
Knox and Kincaid.
Evan Ingram would do the same
They
shit in
had more
Buffalo as they
touchdowns
did.
than they had receiving yards.
play caller. Buffalo.
Hey,
Broncos.
question mark.
That's what I'm
Question
saying.
mark.
Buffalo.
What's Davis Webb gonna do?
Play caller.
Play caller.
I'm going Broncos.
We know you're going.
D coordinator.
You're going everything.
Hey,
I'm going Broncos.
D coordinator. Yeah, I'm giving the Broncos, but don't sleep on Jim Leonard, man. I love that move that they made this.
I like
offseason.
Jim Leonard as a coordinator.
He got Broncos.
You got to prove
he
it.
bleed blue and orange.
Yeah, he do. He
does
really
have-
did. He really a Bronco.
Them the best two moves they made. C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Jim Leonard. You know what I'm saying? Them the best two moves they made. But, man, come on now. This is blasphemy. You heard that word all day. Blasphemy. This is blasphemy.
Go ahead.
That's the biggest
Josh
word he's ever
Allen,
used.
unicorn. I don't know. Josh Allen is just.
He just can't get over that. It's something about him. It's something about Josh that it's the hump that he can't. Maybe it's that throwing up before the game. You know what I'm saying? It's that nervousness. It's he get that throw up feeling in them
Maybe
clutch
it's his
moments and clutch
receiving
parts
core.
of the
Maybe
season.
it's his-
He just can't get over that
Small
hump, man.
hands.
Wait, has Bo Nix gotten over the hump?
Shit, he
He
going up.
climbing.
He going up that hill, ain't he?
The
Talk about
biggest-
He right here. He going up that hill.
The biggest issue with Josh Allen, and I've said this before, but he struggles knowing when it's time to be Superman and make the hero play and when it's time to be Clark Kent and just throw it away and check it down.
Yeah.
We saw that in the divisional game, trying to run around, do too much. You don't have to do that because you have a run game with James Cook. Because
Yeah.
you have weapons at tight end. Now you add a DJ Moore in the pass game, pair him up with Shakir. I don't think he'll be as tempted to try to make those plays this
Because
year.
he got DJ Moore.
DJ
it's a
Moore.
habit.
DJ Moore is a number one wide receiver
It's
in the
a
NFL.
deficiency.
Oh Lord.
It's like an iron deficiency.
You don't think DJ Moore's a number
Something
one
you
receiver?
have.
It's not a DB in the NFL who fears DJ Moore. Not one.
You pair him. You know why
I think
though?
he got
Also,
like
he has.
It's
500
not
yards.
one.
You know what
Cody.
else he hasn't done though?
It's not one.
He also hasn't played with Josh Allen at quarterback. Caleb Williams played really well last year, but
He had
now you pair up
600
DJ
yards
Moore with
last
one of the
season.
top quarterbacks in the NFL, and you pair him back up with Joe Brady, who he had a lot of
So
success
you gonna
with
put
in Carolina.
DJ Moore in front of Pat Surtain, what's gonna happen?
Bro, gonna lick his chops.
So you don't think?
Oh my God.
That's a tough matchup, but he's not going to face Pat Surtain every
If
week.
he the number one guy, he gonna face
We're not
Pat
even in the
Surtain.
same division here. He's not
We
gonna
talking
play
about
When we see
playoffs.
him.
We talking about chips here. We ain't talking about
Bro,
regular.
it's not one cornerback in the National
This say
Football League who
NFL
fears DJ Moore,
championship
bro.
winner, not regular season. And
Like-
Chiefs is lucky to be right there. I know they getting their
So-
dog back, but God, dog.
So are you guys ready to say that the 2026 Denver Broncos could be the greatest team in NFL history?
Nah, we ain't say all that. Nah, Skip.
you-
Well, why not? It was
Skip,
the
you love to do
2015
that.
Denver Broncos.
They gonna be a damn good football team, though. I promise you,
You
that.
guys are Bronco
They're gonna be
blind.
better than the Bills.
You know what, though? I will give him credit. That Jalen Waddle move, which you called before it happens, I think that's going to help elevate that up. Like, that's that one little piece opposite of Cortland Sutton that I think they're going to need. Because after Cortland Sutton, they had some younger guys trying to contribute. I like Mims. I like some of
Yeah, you
Franklin.
got
But
Mims, man.
now you have
Oh.
a true playmaker added to your offense. That's going to help Davis.
It's cornerbacks who's scared to line up against Jalen Waddle.
Agree.
Ain't none scared to line up against DJ Moore.
He's a good
Shit,
number
even
two.
Mims. Shit, you see Mims take the top off Gonzalez
Yeah.
last year. Hey,
I don't even know if Buffalo gonna win the East, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if they're gonna win the East.
You think New England's going to
Well, I don't know if
win again?
Denver's going to win the West.
You know who's gonna win the West, yeah.
I know who you're afraid
No,
of.
who's going to win the West is the Los Angeles Chargers. That's who's winning the West.
They gonna get last in the West.
Yeah, or the Wick.
Behind the Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders. Hey, Fernando.
Damn.
We ain't get to it, but you hear what they talk about Fernando. Hey, that shit look good
Oh, yeah.
already.
You're afraid of that wicked witch in Kansas City. You don't think it's dead
Hey,
yet.
Patty gonna be Patty, man. It's everybody. When you see him walk in, you always double take. Oh, there go Patty. Yeah, for sure. But with our defense, if you're able to bring back 11 starters on defense, 10 starters on defense, man, we very comfortable playing against the Chiefs.
I think it's a fear. It's not a fear anymore with Patty. It's more of a worry. Like, we got the upper hand with our defense now. Now, Pat, he got to worry about us.
Exactly.
It's that confidence that changes, you know, as the years go on. It's like, okay, he's still Pat Mahomes, but shit, we no fly. Look, I don't care
Exactly.
who we going in to play. Brady, Roethlisberger, all great quarterbacks, all did their thing, but they got to worry about us. And that when you get that mentality, division yours.
Kinsey, I don't even know where they're going to play the season next year. It's over. They should just concede.
Yeah.
Hey,
right?
put us in the chip. Let the NFC
do it.
just do their thing and then
do
see
it.
who we
Let the
going to play.
paramedics
I'm
sort
just
them
still
out.
taken back by the Josh Allen, Bo Nix take. So you guys
You taking Josh Allen?
Would you say Bo Nix is
Yeah.
the top 5 quarterback in the league then?
I don't know if I don't know. I got to go through them.
Because
But
apparently
I'll go through 'em with you.
You're putting
Let's
him
go,
above
Pat
Josh
Mahomes.
Allen, and a lot of people would have
I'm
Josh
saying,
Allen as the top 5
are you
quarterback
taking
in
Bo
this
Nix,
league.
Pat
I
Mahomes?
say at
taking
times,
Lamar
he
Jackson.
plays
I'm taking Lamar.
top 5
Okay. Joe Burrow.
ability.
I'm taking Joe.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford.
But you are
In
taking.
certain games, he
Josh
played
Allen.
I'm taking
top
both.
5 ability, for sure.
You're lying.
I'm taking Bo.
You're lying.
These boys are Bronco blind.
Bo ain't look better than
blind.
Josh Allen
Hey.
the last time they went head to head.
Hey.
Bo didn't look better than him.
As a whole, if Bo Nix and they switch teams, the Bills would be really struggling, would be nothing. If
What?
Josh Allen was on the Broncos, it'd be game over.
So Bo ain't as
Game
fast
over.
as Josh. Bo can't get out of trouble like Josh Allen get out of trouble.
I think they would be an average team, maybe 500.
crazy.
You take a fan who knows nothing about football, you put that divisional game on, at the end of that game, you say, which one of these quarterbacks better? They're going to say, shit, I think the Broncos quarterback
Okay,
is better.
but you can't base it off one game.
You could say the same thing about the previous year when they played in the playoffs and the Bills beat them at home. Like it's you can't just pick one.
Maybe
game. You
last
gotta
year
look at totality.
I would have picked Josh. But after this year, I'm picking Bo.
I'm just going to watch one game of Russell Wilson
picking
versus
Bo.
the Cowboys and say, Russell Wilson's the best quarterback
when you watch
in the
Bo
league
get out
right
of
now.
trouble, bro, it's
Bingo.
subtle.
No,
Like
and look,
it's
I
so
will-
subtle. He just turned. He out of there.
Yeah.
Unblocked guy. Oh, I'm gone. I'm hit up the sideline.
I will say that. I know we give you guys a lot of shit, but I like the trajectory that Bo Nix is on right now.
He
I
just
think
saying it's big.
So
he
would-
ain't
he's gonna be a really
breaking
good
Would you
quarterback.
take Bo Nix over Josh Allen right
No,
now?
I'm taking Josh Allen.
Okay.
Of course he's.
But he has a nice trajectory.
He does. No, he has a really good trajectory. I mean, and there's an argument right now. I know people talk about Drake May and Jaden Daniels when he's healthy. There's an argument right now, and Caleb Williams is looking better for Bo Nix being the best quarterback in that class. I would hear it out. I still think that I would take Caleb Williams over all those guys. But Bo Nix, the way he's playing right now, the belief that he has in himself, and what Sean Payton's been able to do with him, I think he's on a really good trajectory.
Keep Sean Payton or Bill Belichick?
I mean, Bill come on now. He
Come on now. That put him in a
got hella rings. So,
trying to
That just put him in a tough.
you got hella rings, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go with that. You know I like winning, you know what I'm saying? He got the most wins. I'm going to go with Bill.
Okay.
Bill,
Yeah, we came back to earth for a second.
I know. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
That got the boys really, really fired up. So I think we're going to end it there. That was a really fun one. Exciting to have TJ back on the show. We'll be back on this couch on Friday with another episode of The Arena Gridiron presented by Underdog.
whoa, whoa.